The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Are you folks still watching the television program they call Yellowstone?
Oh, I'm all over it.
No. I haven't watched the new season yet.
Never saw it.
I had back in the day where you had to quarantine for 10 days with COVID. And,
sure.
So when I had it, I obviously had 10 days of nothing to do. So I went through the whole season, all the way up until, what season is it now? 6, 5?
6 or 5?
Okay.
Oh, thank you. So I went all the way. I went all the way up until whatever they didn't have anymore. And so I'm caught up until the beginning of this season. And to be honest, I don't know if I would have kept up.
5 seasons.
We're on season 5?
Yep.
Okay. So then I watched the first 4.
All right.
I don't know if I would have kept up with it if I had to watch it week to week.
Okay.
Because, it's a good show, and I really understand why people love it. I mean, it's not just like it. People love it.
You seem to, from conversations we had, a year ago, I don't have any idea how these things work, but I'm going to go ahead and say a year ago, you seemed to really be into it. You were joking around with me on text messages, saying the two of us were going to move to Wyoming.
Montana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't seen the show. We were going to buy pickups with dualies.
Yep.
Dodge Rams.
Dodge Rams. We were going to incorporate my dad, who was at one point or another some level of a real cowboy. We were going to have him come out to Montana with us for street cred.
We're going to swim in buckle bunnies.
Right, buckle bunnies. So I guess what you're saying is it grabbed you for a while, but you don't really care anymore.
Well, it's not so much that. I'll definitely, I'm just kind of banking them. So I'm recording all of them, and I'll go back at some point and watch them all in a weekend or something.
That's what I'm hating right now. We're in like the mid-season finale or mid-season.
Yeah, they have a break.
So they have the first 8 episodes, then they have a break, and then they'll do 8 again.
Oh, it's frustrating.
Well, so it's like just sitting here, just waiting.
Well, but my point was, sometimes it's just way too much of a soap opera for me. It's just like a little too much soap opera-y, and I can't really get into that. And also, there's no repercussions for anything these people do.
Yeah.
What is it again? Like what is it? I don't know. What do they do in Yellowstone?
It's a family that owns a ranch, and they try
in the current modern day.
Yes.
Okay. I suppose that would explain the Dodge Ram. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then there's like people that are trying to take over the ranch, like the government and different.
And they kill people?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they bring them to the train station.
Yep. If you go to the train station, you ain't coming back.
Yeah, if they ever say, hey, you want to go to the train station? Just say no. Make up an excuse.
Yeah.
You got plans.
Busy that day.
I got on a different train.
So it
I
sounds
really like the prequels. I know some people don't, but I really enjoy the prequels.
Yeah, I'm not getting into the new one that they have
With
right
Harrison
now.
Ford?
Yeah.
I like it.
Here's why I'm asking about Yellowstone. Apparently, the program itself and its prequels and offshoots, whatever they call it in the business. I have it in front of me here somewhere, and I don't know the word anymore. Yellowstone programming is wildly popular, and so much so that people are dressing up like cowboys that have nothing to do with anything cowboy related. They're calling the style Western core.
I have some friends who they are from Montana, and they go back quite often. Family lives there. They've got a big ranch. I don't know if they've ever killed anybody to keep it, but they're saying that people in Montana are getting annoyed because there's a lot of folks moving out there now because of the show, and it's getting kind of annoying.
I bet.
It's kind of like in South Park, where everybody was moving to Colorado, all the yuppies, with their bottled water and Teslas and iPhones and stuff like that. Or not Teslas, but what's the Toyota one?
Oh, Prius.
Yeah, Priuses and stuff.
What started
Or maybe
that?
it was Tesla.
What started the movement to Colorado?
Well, I'm saying it's like that South Park episode.
Oh, South Park.
And so, but people are doing that in Montana because of Yellowstone.
Well, it's even kind of funny because in Yellowstone, they're trying to keep those people out because they don't want them to come there because that's how their ranch gets taken over.
All right,
and then these people are moving out there.
Text McTextface Jesus got a hold of me and said it's redneck Sopranos. How do you say it?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I never saw Sopranos either, but I know what you're talking about. It's like a mob.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Redneck Sopranos.
I kind of feel like it's similar to the Punisher on Netflix, where it's like, okay, like a guy who walked by the guy you're pissed at's going to die because he was in proximity. It seems like it's a little too much at times for me.
These people should be incarcerated, you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
The characters from Yellowstone. So everybody's dressing up like they're cowboys. It says here the show runs on Paramount Plus. It's the Dutton family. They all wear plaid shirts, cowboy hats, vests, wide-legged jeans. There's a gal by the name of Jill who runs a website called Shop the Scenes. She sells products from popular TV shows. She says the popularity of dressing like a Dutton has blown up. Cowboy culture is cool, she says. Western core trend. The Western core fashion trend is happening in cities where there aren't any farms or ranches anywhere to be seen.
I think that's a good way to get your ass kicked by like a real cowboy. Probably not a good idea.
I don't encounter too many real cowboys in Minneapolis. Yeah, I think I'd be okay if I wanted to wear a flannel and some wide-legged jeans.
I wasn't exclusively talking about Minneapolis.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen anybody dressed as a cowboy.
I could.
No, this isn't something I've encountered yet.
If I was the people in Montana, though, and people were moving out there, or you say I was a transplant, I'm living in Minnesota, I'm from Montana, from a ranch like the Duttons, and I came across, some guy from Edina dressed up like he's going to the rodeo.
I don't know if I'd kick anybody's ass over it. But
I'd get kind of a no. I definitely roll my eyes at him. Like,
can you
really,
imagine
dude?
Josh and I going out one afternoon? We run into a couple guys who are pretending to be slobs, but Josh and I are slobs, and then we'd say, "Hey, you guys aren't real slobs."
Oh yeah, how many days have you worn that hoodie in a row, bro?
You washed it just yesterday. You're not a real slob, dude. Why don't you step up to the plate and deal with a real slob?
Yeah, and they're wearing like a Patagonia hooded sweatshirt.
Right. It's way too fancy. It's supposed to say Mills Fleet Farm on it, dude.
Don't you know anything about being a slob, bro?
I could see some people dressed up as fancy cowboys in Edina, though.
Yeah, I guess I
could
definitely
definitely
that
see
makes
that.
sense.
Getting out of their Range Rovers with spurs.
Stetson Clothing Company. They sell everything. Hats and jeans, and you know who I'm talking about, right? They're just raking in the bucks. Wow, I can't believe it's been this long. It says here the program Yellowstone premiered in 2018. It seems like maybe just a year ago that became a thing. But anyway, Stetson is saying since 2018, they're just raking in crazy bucks.
That stuff's not cheap either. I went to a buddy of mine got married out in Utah, and it was like a Western themed wedding. Everybody dressed like cowboys and cowgirls and stuff.
Oh my God!
So I was like, well, there's that cowboy shop at the Mall of America. I'll go get some boots and a hat. And I took one look at the prices, and I'm like, all right, Goodwill it is.
Those hats are so expensive.
Oh, yeah. I had a girlfriend that wanted me to wear one. And she was kind of a cowgirl. She grew up on a farm, and she was a bit of a cowgirl, and she wanted me, and so we went to, we were at the state fair, and remember, I don't know if they still have it, but they had like a cowboy store over by,
it rings a bell.
Yeah, not too far from where our new booth is. I forget what they call that area now. Now there's a big bar over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
They've fixed it all. You know what I'm talking
The
about.
fancy schmancy area, sort of by the Midway.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
By
right.
the general store.
Over there.
Yep.
I don't know.
And so, yeah, she went there, and she really wanted me to buy a cowboy hat and make that my thing. And I'm like, have we met, first and foremost? And I'm like, I don't know if a guy that spent his first 24 years in Minneapolis should wear a cowboy hat and be taken seriously.
I've tried one on once or twice, and I look absolutely ridiculous.
But we looked at the price. I think it was like $600, something like that.
They're not cheap.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
What the hell? $600?
Yeah, and she was telling me that's not even terrible.
I was saying, because I got curious one time watching the show, and I'm like, all right, how much is a decent cowboy hat? And I saw one for like $2,000. I'm like, what?
Wapple, you would look so great in a cowboy hat.
Oh, I would look so bad. I have this small little pea
I know.
head.
That's why it'd be hilarious.
You wore one last year at the state fair, and you looked pretty good at it.
Oh, I would look so bad.
You worked it.
I gotta say, I love going to the rodeo and stuff. But I'd still feel kind of stupid wearing one there, like everyone would see through me. They'd know, that's not a cowboy hat.
You're wearing a plastic cowboy hat there, pal? Come on now.
Wearing the one that Kurt Angle wore.
So a lot of people are texting in on the subject of the TV show Yellowstone, saying, think of it more like a cowboy Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
That seems like a good way to put it, too.
Yeah.
I never saw Sons of Anarchy, but I think I get the message. Listeners are now texting in the price of their cowboy boots, the price of their cowboy hats, and it's spendy, but not maybe in the $600 range that we were just talking about. Another listener says that all women in the Midwest try to be Beth Dutton. It's really annoying.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, I liked
yeah.
her at first, but I thought she got pretty annoying.
Yeah, isn't she like completely unhinged and
yeah.
kind of psycho?
Yeah, but still hot.
Nick would love her.
Boy, I don't think
I've
so.
been told that.
I don't think you would.
Why do you think I would love Beth Dutton? Your name again is Wapple.
Just like the craziness, drinking, but then, I mean, she sticks to her guns a lot, so.
And Josh, why do you think I would not like Beth Dutton?
Oh, I think she'd drive you nuts. But she is one hot mama.
Oh,
Yeah.
And she does not mind showing them off.
I like that part. Isn't she played by an actress that I'm familiar with?
I didn't recognize her.
I remember somebody showed me a photo of her once, and I recognized her. I had seen her in something or another.
Played by an actress named Kelly Riley.
Maybe I'd have to see her. That doesn't ring a bell. So anyway, there's another hat company called Greeley Hats that sell cowboy hats, and they're selling them all over the world, including in countries they've never had a sale from afore. But now that Yellowstone is hot, they're getting calls from Biafra, to get a damn...
It's got to be the biggest show on TV.
Is that right?
I would imagine. Or maybe there's a show like, I don't know, Survivor or one of those types of shows that are bigger. I have no idea, but...
Bigger than that Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp program?
how silly of me. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I never missed an episode of that.
Maybe The Bachelor could be bigger. That's
Yeah,
huge.
maybe. It's
eat
probably
that up.
a show like that I'd never think of. Most popular show in the world.
So, if you were
Oh my gosh, it's the Half-Assed Morning Show.
look at that.
Wow.
If you were to mimic the attire of the characters from your favorite television show, what would you be wearing? I'll tell you what I'd be wearing. Well, I'm a little out of touch the last couple of months. I'll do my best to catch up at one point or another. But if I were to wear the attire of the characters of my favorite television show, I'd be in a pair of wrestling tights.
Yeah.
And that'd be it. Wapple, you'd be right there with me.
I would be dressed the exact same because it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they just dress like normal people.
Never saw it!
Yeah, you definitely have some Sweet D vibes.
Yeah, I love her.
All right, it looks like football is the most popular.
But we need to check that one out. What season are they on?
Football's the most popular, like any football game.
It says here specifically Sunday night football.
Oh, yeah?
So let's see. This is going real slow.
Now, other listeners are texting me about Yellowstone. Very popular. A lot of our listeners watch the show. They're telling me, forget about Beth Buttons or
Dutton.
whatever. Forget about Beth. They want me to go for someone named Teeter.
Oh, you can't even understand her.
Why? Why can't I understand Teeter?
She has like this Texas drawl, and you just can't understand her.
Which one is she?
Oh, she's the tomboy one, right?
Yeah.
Who is she dating?
The
young guy?
with the beard, the black man.
Others,
Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Others
Yep.
are telling me that Beth is broken. She's busted. You don't want Beth.
Yeah. you don't
Others
want
are
that.
saying Beth is Ashley in 25 years.
25. Jeez, I hope I age a little bit better.
Oh, I think she's aged wonderfully.
I'll have to look them up. I'll look up the Beth and the Teeter.
Oh, people are saying that this is from former TV sports photographer Jesus, that Kelly Riley is British. I would not have guessed that.
Yep.
Kelly Riley.
She is very attractive.
If you love gorgeous, intelligent, successful blondes, with a sweet girl next door, best friends forever type personality. Then be listening at 7:30 this morning when local television personality Janelle Klein joins us in studio.
She'd look cute in a cowgirl hat.
Ooh,
Yeah, I totally
she
agree.
could pull that off.
I
for
wonder
sure.
if she has one. Maybe she has a going out clubbing cowboy hat.
I'll tell you, Janelle Klein's going to be here.
People are saying Teeter is Michael Landon's daughter, the guy from
Little House
on the Prairie.
Oh,
Michael Landon. Spent a lot of my afternoons after grade school and junior high watching Michael Landon on Little House on the Prairie.
Boy, I loved that show.
So I guess that was the one Western I ever got into, was Little House on the Prairie. Or was it in the Prairie? What was it?
Little House on the Prairie.
On the Prairie.
Somebody's mad at us for giving away spoilers from Yellowstone. What spoiler did we give away?
We didn't give away Jack Squat.
Yeah, we gave away no spoilers that I can think of.
No. Said people die, but I haven't even seen the show, and I kind
Everybody
of assumed
knows
that.
I hear you. Is this legitimate now? I'm clicking on a text here. On cowboy hats. Boy, so many of you know a thing or two about cowboy hats and cowboy boots. Listener says the more beaver hair in the cowboy hat, the more expensive it is. Is that a joke? Anyone know?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know they put beaver hair in those. I guess I don't know as much about cowboy hats as I thought I did.
That was a thing for a while at my high school, was to wear cowboy boots.
I have a pair of cowgirl boots. They're like gothic themed though. Yeah.
Like what?
That's
Explain
a
that.
big surprise.
They're black, and then they have a chain that goes through like the bottom of the boot.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like a little bit of rhinestones on them. They're cute as heck.
I think Slash started the trend at my high school. Slash from Guns N' Roses, because he would walk out on stage with a pair of leather pants and cowboy boots, and then Guns N' Roses became wildly popular, and a couple of my buddies went out and bought snakeskin cowboy boots. I always thought they looked silly,
Jace wants to know if he has to watch Brokeback Mountain first to understand the story of Yellowstone.
Yes.
No, I've never seen Brokeback Mountain, and I understand Yellowstone. So, Jace, you're going to be fine.
We've got some more we need to cover on this television show called Yellowstone. We were discussing the show and how the popularity of the show has led to a fashion trend. Now people who have nothing to do with the cowboy life are dressing like a cowboy. And the fashion, the style is being called Western core. All right? This is a thing. So if you're walking around downtown St. Paul and you see some guy with a lasso on his hip, he might just be the latest to fall into the Western core style. Here's a text from a listener that says, this all reminds me of when everyone was growing a massive beard because of Duck Dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
And boy, that hung on forever. It's only recently that dudes stopped growing ridiculously long beards.
That's because they jumped on another trend.
What is it?
The mustaches, because of Top Gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that really how it started?
Yeah.
Every young man I know has a mustache.
I like it. I think it's adorable.
Take it or leave it. Some people, it looks really bad.
Yes, it does.
So my daughter's boyfriend has one, and it is really good. I must say, he can grow a mustache. And for Christmas, as a joke, I got him some mustache wax.
Sure.
Right? But he loves it.
Does he really?
Yeah, he loves it. He uses it every day.
Tell you what, when I had a beard going a while back, I bought some kind of beard grease that is supposed to keep it in line, and it did a fairly good job. I've got a tough style of facial hair. It just kind of explodes in 1,000 different directions. But I had this beard splooge, and it dummied it down, and plus it smelled really good too. It made me smell as if I was a clean person. Talking about all this Western fashion, listeners have texted in and said it's true. The more beaver hair in a cowboy hat, the more expensive the cowboy hat.
That's interesting.
Never would have guessed.
And then we were talking about the actresses on the show, Yellowstone. And I knew that I had seen pictures of the actress who plays the character Beth Dutton. I know that I had seen her somewheres before, and I was right. A very pretty and talented lady. What was it, Kelly?
Yeah.
Lisa Riley, something like that?
Kelly Riley?
Kelly Riley,
There you
okay. She was Denzel Washington's lady in the movie they called Flight. Did you see Flight?
Oh, no, I never saw that.
Yeah.
He's the drunken airline pilot. Oh, my goodness. She's very talented and very hot. So no wonder everyone likes this Beth Dutton. And I also looked up Teeter is the character name. I don't know the actress's name, but people say that's Michael Landon's daughter. She's also very cute.
Yeah, another one you should look up is Laramie. Ooh-wee.
Take it
Cool
easy.
name.
Laramie.
Yeah, from Yellowstone.
Isn't
Take it
that that's a trim level of a ram, is it not?
I think so. Yeah.
That sounds right to me. Yes.
They named it after her on the show? That's
right.
amazing. What an honor that must be.
Oh, wow. She's pretty.
Yeah.
What's her real name?
Lariat.
No, that's an F-150. It's XLT.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, so if anyone wants to send me a picture of Larry, what'd you say, Laramie?
Oh, her name is Hassie Harrison.
Cassie Harrison.
That's her real name?
Yeah, dude, that's a cool name.
Soon it'll be just like I've actually watched an episode of Yellowstone.
Yeah,
I'll know all of these characters.
She was also in that show Tacoma FD with the guys from Broken Lizard.
Oh, I don't know that one either.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
This episode brought to you by Progressive. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save over $775 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $779 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Absolutely wonderful. It's 8:32. Janelle Klein is live in studio with the Half-Assed Morning Show. We've been lucky this week. A bonus appearance from the self-proclaimed Norwegian ox.
Your hometown, Faribault, has been so nice to us this week.
Haven't they been great?
Was it, Dana, the Chamber of Commerce, or who sent us the nice gift bag?
Chamber of Commerce did.
Okay. So they sent us that, and then just a couple days later, we get a box full of cheese from Faribault.
You're kidding.
We got blue cheese and gorgonzola.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
And so Warehouse Cheeses texted in this morning to ask if we got it. So is that who we have to thank for this, I'm assuming? Does anybody know? I didn't see who sent it.
It was called Cave. The company, the cheese place it's called Cave. Do you know what that is,
I don't
Janelle?
know the name of the company, but there are blue cheese caves in Faribault. So there is blue cheese.
What do you mean, a
made there.
blue cheese cave?
I don't know.
Filled with blue cheese.
Yeah, you just go in there and pluck it out of the cave.
Yeah, so this place is literally called like Cheese Cave.
Yeah.
Cheese cave. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes, thank you very much.
I'll show you a cheese cave.
We were, yuck. We were waiting for Chanel to come back in.
I will.
And that's very cool. People had texted us the last time saying, you guys need to know about, you have to try their blue cheese.
Yeah. Did you guys try it?
Not quite
Not
yet.
yet.
All
No.
right.
So good.
You're going
is
to be
it?
happy.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Warehouse Cheeses, and everyone involved in sending that stuff. That's way too kind.
Citizens of Faribault, The Half-Assed Morning Show thanks you. Boy, it's been a long winter, hasn't it, Janelle?
Oh, my God. We were just talking about that in here.
You had a little trouble getting in, a little slick this morning.
Yep.
Snow tomorrow.
Yes.
I understand.
Yep.
There have been times this winter where the weather was so bad. It's not so bad right now, but there have been times where you didn't even want to go outside.
Right.
You, at least for a brief moment of time, felt like you had no life. Nothing you could do. You're trapped. We're trying to get this together and play it for you at one point or another. The Get a Life bit by William Shatner on Saturday Night Live might be the best bit they ever came up with. Would you agree with that, Josh?
Oh, I love that bit.
Does everyone know what we're talking about?
I remember this one. No.
Years ago on Saturday Night Live. And I remember being kind of shocked by it.
Me too. And I could see that he meant it. Even though it was a joke, I think he meant it.
This must have been in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Early 90s. William Shatner, of course, who played Captain Kirk in the 60s on Star Trek, was the guest host on Saturday Night Live, and they put together a bit where he's appearing at a Star Trek convention with all the fans in costume and dying to see William Shatner, Captain Kirk, and he gets up on the podium and says, "I got to tell you, do we have the audio, Josh?"
Yeah, I've got a good portion of it.
Hit her.
The man you've all been waiting for, Captain James Tiberius Kirk himself. Now, Bill's here to field a few questions, so just fire away.
You know, before I answer any more questions, there's something I wanted to say. Having received all your letters over the years, and I've spoken to many of you, and some of you have traveled, hundreds of miles to be here, I'd just like to say, get a life, will you, people? For crying out loud, it's just a TV show. I mean, look at you. Look at the way you're dressed. You've turned an enjoyable little job that I did as a lark for a few years into a colossal waste of time.
It is funny. You see some of those conventions, and sometimes, like, the questions will go viral because somebody's very knowledgeable about it, and the actor has no idea what they're talking about. Like when they're fact-checking, or this doesn't make sense because this solar system didn't have this.
Yeah, right.
I enjoy all that stuff, but I'm the worst when it comes to the details. And that bit is quite a bit longer. And it's guys asking these impossible questions to a person that just played them on TV.
When you were on planet Gruel and the sun turned from yellow to... Did that indicate that the Vulcan warriors... And he's just... I have no idea. What a great bit, even after all these years. And I mentioned that, and Josh agreed, we were both shocked by the bit because, I mean, for William Shatner to, kind of thumb his nose at these people who worship the ground that he walks on, it just was kind of surprising that he would go that route, but it just played out so well. Now, some folks we'd probably say need to get a life. According to people on social media, these are examples of things that scream, "I have no life." Okay? Here are just some of them. People on social media sharing examples of things that scream, "I have no life." Feel the need, or feel free is what I should say, to text us if you have a thought. 651-989-9393. Start your message with the member of the program who you'd like, who you intend the message for. This screams, "I have no life." Nonstop complaining about other people.
Sure. Mm-hmm. That's tough. I mean, there's a couple people, I know, Nick, you've got this in your life too, that's all they do is complain. Everybody's stupid. Nobody does anything right, that kind of thing. That's tough to be around after a while.
It is the first thing out of some people's mouths is, "I hate this person, I hate that person. You're not going to believe what this idiot said. You're not going to believe what that idiot said." And I don't get me wrong, I dig trading those stories once in a while, but when it's always your number one subject and always the first thing you go to, it gets to be a little much.
Yeah, too negative.
Nonstop complaining about other people. Do we have one of these in the building? Also on the list of things that scream, "I have no life," the person at work who monitors how often people are at their computers?
What?
I've had bosses like that.
You've had...
Like
what's
they
that?
want you at your computer? Or
Yeah, they expect you to be at your desk, and they monitor how long you're there and how long you stayed. at work, and they would do all that kind of stuff.
Can they track that on their own computer? Is that how they do it? What I don't
I'd
understand.
imagine so
They can now, because I've heard a lot about that since COVID and having to use like Zoom and all that. They can monitor how long you're actually active on your computer, because people made like these little machines that would just like move their mouse back and forth. Because they could even tell if you just had the screen open and like walked away.
Yeah, you would be flagged if your like mouse didn't move for like 15 to 20 seconds, and you would get flagged, and it would go to your boss or it would go to your teacher, and it'd be like, "Hey, this person isn't at their computer."
Are you effing kidding me?
Nope.
Have you heard of this stuff, Janelle?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, and I wouldn't last one day at a job like that.
So, Dana,
imagine?
You've had a boss or two that monitored that kind of thing. Did he or she then call you into their office and discuss your activity or lack thereof with your computer?
Yeah, absolutely. The bosses wanted us to hang out after the show for like a couple hours each day. And you know how we get here when we do these, because we get in the middle of the night, our brains are fried, our brains are melting out our ears, we can't think of anything. And they want us to like be the peppy ones around the station that go around and try to boost morale.
Oh my God!
Into the sales meeting and sit in on that.
That is wicked gross.
I know. It was not ideal.
You're right. Once the show is over at 9, I mean, I know you guys see me. I'm jelly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to get the hell out of here. I've had enough talking. I've had enough.
Do you know what else happens after the show pretty much daily, Janelle?
No.
I get touched by grown men in this building.
It is so insane.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
I
hugged?
catch it every time too, and your face is just not
Well,
happy.
it's because I look at Ashley because she's trying to keep a straight face.
You mean like
I'm very
hugged
touchable.
Or what? What do you mean?
just kind of touched, like on the
patted on the
shoulder
back
or
and-
that kind of
yeah.
thing.
like a little squeeze
I've
when
been
people walk by.
booped before,
Oh.
where somebody came up and booped my side.
You've
and
been
went
booped.
Yep, been booped.
Pooped. Is this the same people every time?
Oh, no, it's varying people. And by the way, so Dana sits right next to me. Nobody touches Dana.
No poops.
Never been booped.
I
Nothing.
mean,
I
Dana-
actually like being a guy
Yeah.
that you can be okay. You feel like, I'm
Yeah.
going to go up and just
Yeah.
give him a pat on the back.
Gonna jostle him.
Yeah.
I mean, you are very likable.
Well, I think they're wiping something on me. To be honest. More than anything.
Bathroom.
Josh's right shoulder is just a booger farm. I can't imagine living life or working at a job where they monitor what you're doing with your computer and how. I mean, aside from the obvious, what you're doing with
Yeah,
your
the websites.
right? That they track how long or how active you were and how long you stayed. We're going to get to that, the staying.
Australian Jesus says about the mouse thing you were talking about, Ashley and Dana. Turn the mouse upside down, put an analog watch facing the sensor.
Heard
It
that.
keeps. Oh, you've heard that?
Yep.
So it looks like the mouse is moving.
Yes. So
I don't understand a word of that. But
So the hand in your watch is moving around so that the mouse reads that as
movement.
So then,
this is
you can get away from your computer for hours.
so beyond what I'm able to understand. Numbers 3 and 4 on the list here of signs that you have no life is all social media related. And God help us, I can't agree with this more. People who spend all day on stupid social media, arguing with strangers. One particular group is picked on here. It says, posting everything about your personal business and drama on social media, more specifically the Facebook Moms Group. Or the
I've heard
Facebook
bad things.
Moms Groups.
You've heard bad things? Like what?
Oh, just a lot of mom shaming, a lot of like bickering back and forth on these things where it's supposed to be a good resource, You can talk to other moms about stuff. And I guess it just gets really salty and really catty really quickly.
I'll tell you
yeah,
what.
it absolutely does. Because I don't know if you knew this, but people don't know how to raise their kids. So that's what moms like to say. They're like, "Oh, you're not doing it right. I'm doing it right."
But you just kind of jumped in on that.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
Yeah, yep, no one knows how to raise their kids except for you.
Oh, I understand completely.
I'm not a social media guy by any means, but I was kind of excited when I heard about Nextdoor. And
no.
I thought, this is great because Nextdoor, I think you have to be invited into your neighborhood, right? Something like that.
No,
So
you can just join. You put in your address, and so it connects you to people that
I've
live
been
around
told
you.
a little bit about this. Okay, so go ahead.
And it was
Explain it to
be
me
like
again.
neighborhood things, right? Things you might that might affect you directly, and it'd be kind of, you might learn something about the neighborhood or whatever. And I was thinking, oh, this is really cool. It's not like a Twitter or Facebook or something. It became Twitter and Facebook with the bickering over absolutely everything. Somebody would post the simplest thing, just the most harmless thing, and then they would be shamed and destroyed by people who live on your block.
Seriously, that's the craziest thing about that. I got on Nextdoor since I moved to Minneapolis, and yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, I know where you live. I know what house you're talking about. Why are you being so mean?
Yeah, I got off that pretty quick. I was.
So somebody would say, hey, I got an old lawnmower out in my front yard if anybody wants it in the neighborhood, and someone would come back and say, typical snowflake, or something like.
Well, it looks like you're not using that lawnmower. Your lawn looks like garbage.
Well, yeah, there you
can't
go.
leave that on your front lawn.
But you're right, it becomes political somehow, the dumbest things. Yeah, so I didn't last too long on that. I was pretty bummed because I thought this is going to be cool.
Can somebody jump on a Facebook moms group real quick and tell us what they're discussing at this very moment? Is that possible? I don't know anything about social media. Is that possible just to look at it? And
You can try. I think it's one of those things where you have to be invited.
Oh,
At least the good ones.
Yeah, or they have to accept your request to be a part of it.
All right, fine. We got some more to go over before we're done with this list. According to people on social media, this list of the signs that you have no life. We're back with Janelle Klein, covering what folks on social media say are the signs you have no life. Kind of the pot calling the kettle black, but whatever. I suppose you can be a social media person and not be a douchebag and not sit there all day, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what we've covered so far. Signs that you have no life. Nonstop complaining about other people. Computer monitor people who monitor, folks at your job that'll monitor how long you're on your computer, how active you are. Bizarre. I'd never heard of that in my life, and I have a side story here I want to share with you on that topic in just a minute. Social media, constant social media presence, arguing with strangers, all that crap. Okay. A listener sent me this. Sorry, I don't have a name connected to the text, but speaking of this weird, brand new to me, idea that there's someone monitoring how active and how often you're on your computer, your boss might call you into their office and say, well, we noticed there was a half hour there where you didn't. This is a listener who says, my sister is involved in a program where she takes tests on her computer for college, and they look at her through a webcam, and if she looks away for too long, they automatically fail her.
Oh, my God.
My girlfriend was doing online classes, and she would take a test, and even if you got a phone call, you weren't allowed to take the phone call. You just failed the test right away.
Yeah, they have like lockdown browsers now that I had to download on my computer when I went to college to make sure that you're not opening up other windows, but I just used my phone.
Well, I can understand if you're taking a test online that you shouldn't be on the phone.
I was just going to say, if you did that in person, maybe they shouldn't fail you, but
that doesn't sound outrageous to me at all.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy that technology exists.
Here we go. We continue on. Here's what else people on social media say is a sign that you have no life. Being way too invested in the lives of reality TV series.
God.
Oh, I know a gal who will give you an update on any one of them. You name it, she watches it. She loves the drama. And does anyone have a favorite reality TV star? Forget about this series, because I've even gotten into a couple of them. Josh and I, once in a while, talk about the Bret Michaels one that we watched back in the day. A reality TV star that you really do love.
I've never really watched outside of like Cops, or like you said, we watched Rock of Love.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Celebrities were like, but I've never watched like a Survivor or something like that.
Yeah, Survivor for me, there's plenty of former players I still keep tabs on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Like Boston Rob, he's one of the coolest.
It's Boston Rob.
Rob.
It's funny because I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. He was saying he's concerned about himself because he has very little empathy, right? If something bad happens to a person, whatever, he goes on with his life, right? I mean, he's a good person, so he'll say what he thinks he should say, but he doesn't really feel it. But he said he's concerned because on the current season of Survivor, I guess a guy on the first episode had to be eliminated for a reason, and he teared up.
It was pretty sad. The dude bashed his head wide open on the very first challenge, like 6 minutes into the game. They've been on the island for 6 minutes. And the guy just completely tore his head open, and they got it shut, and they thought he was going to be okay, but then a few hours later, they had to pull him from the game.
So that's the guy. It must be the guy.
I have an answer, sort of. I just thought of this as far as who my favorite reality television star is. I wouldn't be able to name any names, but I really enjoyed this show for a while. So my answer would be everyone who's ever appeared on the show Hoarders.
Yes. I have not seen that.
Dude,
I love Hoarders.
I cannot get enough of that program. Well, that's a wild exaggeration. There was about a week's time where I watched that show, and it was so fascinating to me. I just don't know how in God's name these people got themselves into these situations to the point where they are at risk of being buried alive by the garbage. So I'm going to say every character who's ever been on Hoarders.
Me and Dana were talking yesterday about Bar Rescue.
I love Bar Rescue. It's same thing every single time, but so good.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is Bar Rescue?
He goes into these bars that are failing, and he tries to turn them around. So he'll try to help the owner. He'll, make the bar nicer and try to get it, where it makes money.
He yells at
lose
people.
Money. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing every time. The owner's drunk. They need bailouts. They're not doing their job. The place is dirty. Yeah.
Well, for me
great.
personally, if you got a bar that's not making much money, for me personally, get a jukebox.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
I'll hang out in any joint if they got a jukebox. Another sign that you have no life, and I couldn't tell you the first damn thing about this, being emotionally invested in the British royal family.
Oh, yeah, those people are scary.
I know a couple people like that. They're much older, but they really are invested in that.
I don't get it.
When the Princess Di, they had like a traveling show, basically, where you could see a bunch of her dresses and stuff like that. Came to the Mall of America. I mean, they were first in line.
To see the dresses that Princess Di...
Yeah, I don't know everything they had. Like, they had like a little display, I guess, and you could walk around and see all these different things associated with her. And I heard that was crazy popular, too. Mm-hmm.
Austin Powers is the extent of my British knowledge, I think. That's
During one of the royal weddings, my wife got up early and watched it, so I was watching it with her, and she was just sobbing because she loves the royals. She's like, "This is so beautiful. This is so perfect." And I was kind of rolling my eyes at her, and she's like, "Oh, okay, the grown man who cries at sporting events. Okay, yeah. You tell me when it's okay to be emotional about."
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
She was crying while watching what?
One of the royal weddings. I can't remember what couple it was, if it was Harry and Danielle or whatever, but
Janelle, what's your take on the royal?
I don't follow them at all.
Okay. Tell me what this means. You have no life if you play thousands of hours of a single $20 indie game on Steam. Someone tell me what I just said.
I don't know what Steam is exactly.
It's very specific.
I
Steam is like Twitch.
Steam is like a platform where you can buy games on it, and then you can play the games off that platform.
Oh, yeah, I've used that before.
Yeah, it's really big for PC games, so you don't have to get the CD anymore.
Numbers 8 and 9 on the list of signs you have no life are very similar. Only ever talking about your job. That's number 8. Number 9 is one that will get me to ignore you altogether. Working tons of hours and bragging about it. I have come very close to coming completely unglued when I'm around people who just cannot stop telling you how hard they work and how no one else can compare to how hard they... Now, this I don't understand. Who does this? You have no life if you hang out at work after you're done. Who the hell does that?
Oh, dude, there was those.
We do.
Yeah, people did that a lot when I was like a server bartender. That's weird.
We definitely did a lot more when there were people in the building.
It's like, go home, weirdos.
Well, but usually we were just waiting to finish what we had to finish. I don't remember us ever...
We used to sit around and play hacky sack or hang out in the front of the building.
I guess I don't count that. That was just kind of like downtime before we went on with our jobs. I think what they mean here is when you're done for the day and you still hang around the job.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember hanging out a little more around here.
Huh. And what do we got? Oh, the final. I know we've had some fun conversations about this. You have no life if you are involved with a homeowners association.
I hate those.
Going back to hanging out at the office, there was actually a joke between me and our boss, I guess, that he would get one of those sand timers. What are those called? You know what I'm talking about? Hourglass. Yes, okay, hourglass. And then if I walked into his office after work, he'd flip it over, and that's all the time I got. Otherwise, I would stay in his office forever.
That's brilliant. That was here? Here?
Yeah, Derek.
Oh, that's right. He's done that to you.
Yeah, I joke. It was my idea, because there'd be times where he's like, all right, dude, I got to get into a meeting or something, and I'd realize I have wasted a lot of his time.
Well, you have admittedly, you have a problem. You do. You've admitted that when you start talking, sometimes you just can't stop.
Well, yeah, if I get into it with somebody, so I need them to end the conversation.
That's great that he had the effing hourglass.
All right, here you are. We're going to flip this over.
Here we go now. Was there ever a situation when you were spitting out a sentence at the very last second to try to get everything in there?
Oh, yeah, and then I'll leave and I'll call him. Oh. I found a loophole.
Hey, there you go. Make
I'll
a phone call. For God's sake. That's going to do it for us, Janelle Klein.
Well, it's good to see you guys.
So nice to see you. Thanks for braving the weather.
Yes.
Yeah, drive safe on the way home.
Yes, everybody.
Doesn't look that great out there.
Yeah,
we'll be hanging out here for a long time. We'll be here forever.
Gonna bust out the hacky sack. Let's go.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
We swing from the jocks of these athletes day after day. Randy Shaver's big-time jock sniffer. He can't get enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never get to know what these folks are into off their chosen field of play, what these folks are into when they're not allowing us to live vicariously through their athletic abilities. What are they doing away from the game? I bumped into a report here. I don't know if I have all 20. 20 athletes who have cool, non-athletic talents that nobody talks about. Right?
I like that kind of stuff.
I don't know if I appreciate that, Smash. It's in the neighborhood of 20. I don't know if I have all of them. But I don't know so much that nobody talks about some of these side talents. We've all heard some of what is in this report. BuzzFeed put it together, and they mentioned that athletes are only seen usually for their athletic talent, and that's not fair. Here are some athletes who excel at non-athletic talents that need to be talked about. Right from the get-go, I know this is one that we've talked about because we were chuckling at a video the guy released not that long ago. I believe he plays for the Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner.
Yes.
Big center, isn't he?
Yep, out of Texas. Yes.
Every once in a while there's a rumor about him being dealt to the Timberwolves.
We've heard that a few times.
Mm-hmm. He is a wicked Lego collector.
He is.
Oh,
sweet.
He puts together all the big sets.
He shows off his crazy Lego collection that he builds daily. Daily, he puts something or another together with those. You're into Legos, right, Dana?
I am, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you jealous? I bet he gets to just
Dana
buy
made
all
it present
the cool
tense.
ones.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that.
No, what? I still am into Lego. I wish I had his type of NBA money that could afford all those huge, $1,000 sets and whatnot.
Just have like a big Lego room.
Yeah, just a room for all my Lego.
Well, you're never going to make that kind of money if you keep taking days off to go to New Orleans.
Exactly. Right. That's where you start, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe coming to work.
Don't think there's a lot of Lego playing on Bourbon Street, is there?
I didn't come there any. At least not that kind of Legos.
How long would that last if we went and had a dozen beers on Bourbon Street, then came out onto the sidewalk and started trying to build Lego spaceships and whatnot? Somebody would kick it across the street within seconds. Remember NBA point guard Darren Williams? Played for the Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets. In his Utah days, he would go cliff diving off of exotic cliffs.
Now, how does he get away with that? Because
well, he
I would
didn't.
think in his contract would say he can't be doing that.
Yeah, they tell him not to even ride a bike.
He snuck these little cliff diving escapades in when nobody was looking, but the Jazz eventually, when he was playing in Utah, the Jazz eventually found out and said, knock it off or we're not going to pay you. Cliff diving? I know Josh and I, when we were young guys, we both separately would head up to Ely and jump into those big mine pits that are filled with water.
Mm-hmm. It's a blast.
Anyone ever try something like that?
No, it sounds awesome, though.
No.
Also, when I was a teenage kid on Lake Minnetonka, we'd go to the Arcola Bridge and jump off the Arcola Bridge. Yeah.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. And we almost died a number of times doing both.
Yeah, we did that at Lake Nokomis Bridge in high school a lot.
I remember when my buddy Hot Tub, we had too many beers. Too many beers. This is where we got real stupid. We'd get full of beer and then go to those big mining pits in Ely and jump into the freezing cold water. And it was, I don't know how deep it was, but it was way, way down. And Hot Tub, he's drunk and he decides he's going to show us he can do a flip. And he never made it all the round. And he just landed on his kidneys. Slap! You heard the slap from miles around. Luckily, he didn't sink to the bottom and die, for Christ's sake. I remember when he surfaced, all he could say was, maybe he had to be there, but when he surfaced, he said this. He said, wind. My brother had to dive in and rescue him. Now, I don't know how to say this name, but he's a football player. A cornerback in the NFL, Nnamdi Asomugha. Anybody?
Yeah, sure.
My pronunciation, a top cornerback in the NFL, they say, over the past decade. Now he's trying out acting. And you know who his wife is? He's married to an actress, Kerry Washington. Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Gorgeous and wildly talented. Kerry Washington. Oh, Cubby. Hang on to something. David Beckham.
Oh, that'll put me in a good mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cubby's hanging on to something.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, watch it.
You son of a bitch. Well, now wait a minute. I thought they said non-athletic talent. This is an athletic talent. Because David Beckham, when he's not playing that soccer, he fences. He takes up fencing, like Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, or Josh and I at the Mall of America in the late 90s.
You guys went fencing?
Well,
Yes.
with lightsabers, yes.
Oh,
No. We put on the real fencing gear, and they handed
that
us the
stuff is hot.
for about a week and a half. Oh, are you kidding me? So you've done it?
Yeah, I done it at the Renaissance Festival.
Okay, so this is in the late 90s. There was like an empty bar up there at the Mall of America, probably because of some poor behavior. A bar got closed down, and there was a lot of that poor behavior back then, wasn't there, Cubby? A bar got...
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
It was lawless. And it was just an empty bar, and Josh and I are walking by one afternoon, and there was a lady in there with fencing outfits and the swords. I don't know what do they call those things? They're not called swords. Foils. And she was just giving lessons to anybody who wanted to. And Josh and we said, okay, we'll try it. And we put the gear on, and we went back and forth, and it was fun. But you're right, Smashley. When it was over, we were sweating our bags off.
Oh, here's your suit back. Thanks for the lesson.
Yep.
Might want to Febreze this one.
And then we're walking around the mall the rest of the day soaked in sweat. And I know there were a handful of people who walked past us and said, the crackheads are getting into the mall. Just two guys sweating profusely. David Beckham will go fencing, and he has famous people that he fences with. That nutbag Will Smith.
Oh, wow.
And that other nutbag Tom Cruise.
I don't want to be around either of them with a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith has reach.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise, I might be able to well, who am I kidding? We're about the same height.
Grant Hill, terrific basketball player in his day.
Right.
Oh, I missed it. Grant. Grant! He sits down and plays the piano.
That's cool.
Anybody on the panel, can you play piano?
I can play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's
you
pretty
go.
cool to me.
God, I wish I knew how to play the piano.
I have one of those buddies that he can play it by ear, and he could do it since he was in middle school.
That pisses me off.
I
know.
always wanted to be musically talented.
We were at a soccer camp once, and it was like an overnight one. I can't one of the colleges, maybe St. John's or something, and they had a piano in the dorm we were staying in, and he impressed all of the girls soccer players there by just, hey, name a song, I'll play it. And and oh my gosh, we're like, all right, well, we don't stand a chance. Let's go.
Yeah, that's hot. Yep.
We're rolling through some talents that athletes, non-athletic talents that athletes possess, and maybe you don't know about it. Yeah, we used to have a keyboard that sat around the building here years ago. And I taught myself how to play the intro to Home Sweet Home by the Motley Crue. But I also, this is my more favorite move, and it was much simpler. I could play the intro to One by Metallica with the key. Boom, ba, doom, boom. Boom, ba, boom, boom. I thought I was pretty badass, which I was.
Mm-hmm. Still are.
Well, we already know this. Manny Pacquiao is the greatest singer that has ever lived. They mentioned Manny Pacquiao's singing skills in here, which when he sings, sometimes when we touch, I come completely uncorked. There's just no getting around it. There have been many athletes who have tried rapping, and a lot of them have been absolutely horrible. One that comes to mind is What's-His-Nuts that can't get right from the NFL.
Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Word is the real deal rapper amongst athletes is a guy by the name of Miles Bridges. And why can't I come up with what team he plays for?
Charlotte?
Is that right, Charlotte?
I think that's correct.
Miles Bridges. They say he is the real deal. This is one I think we heard about 35 years ago, but I would call this an athletic talent. You know, the list is supposed to be non-athletic. Herschel Walker, who is totally insane, and how he used to dabble in ballet dancing. Remember that from back back when he was...
Absolutely.
My parents wanted me and my brother to take ballet, and they that's how they tried to entice us.
Oh,
It was like,
really?
football players do that.
Really? Why did your folks want to get your brother and you into ballet?
I don't know.
Were they the type of couple that would go watch a ballet?
Maybe my mom. Yeah, so I don't know, but that was one of the arguments they made. I remember this was maybe third grade, and there was just a place like just down the block, and so they tried to get us to do it.
That'd be so cute. My niece did dance for a really long time, and it included some ballet. And I love watching those. Going and watching what those little kids can do. It's crazy.
I didn't go for the ballet, but you know what I did do?
What's that?
Tap dancing.
Did you really?
What?
Yep.
Can you tap dance?
Not very well, but I did move up to the Wednesday class. That's where some of the good kids were in third grade.
I need to see this.
So you really got a little ways into tap dancing before what happened? You quit?
I made it like 3 weeks, I think.
Oh.
I'm just picturing
Believe it or
young
not,
Josh
I was
in a
the only
tutu.
boy in the class, and I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Damn, how old were you?
This maybe third grade.
Cute
Maybe
little
second
Josh
grade.
out there.
Second or third grade.
Rappity-tap-tap-tap-tap. You could do that?
I got no one move, basically.
Well, here's what's funny about you is you have terrific rhythm.
That's been said.
You really do. I mean, you can play the guitar, and you've played in bands, and whether you believe it or not, the way you can edit sounds and music for this radio program is proof of your rhythm. You couldn't do what Cubby does without rhythm, but yet you cannot dance at all.
My body can't figure it out.
It's strange. You would think you could just be whipping in and out of rooms like who's a great dancer? Thanks for the help.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, like Mike Jackson used to.
My wife is a very good dancer and did that for a very long time. And it's funny because she's so good at it and I'm so bad at it. We could not be more
Does she
polar
try
opposite.
to teach you ever?
Not so much. I think she's given up.
On Seinfeld?
Elaine?
Oh, as bad as Elaine? It's
Yeah.
worse than Elaine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a text here that reminds us, yes, you don't have to tell us this, but we appreciate it anyway. One of the coolest rock stars to ever live, Kip Winger,
Yeah, he did ballet.
did ballet dancing, and he shows it off on stage to this day. Not necessarily, what you would define as ballet, but you can see little hints of it when he moves on stage, and ladies go crazy. Kip Winger is one of the coolest dudes ever.
He is.
Now, we know this. Shaquille O'Neal is a DJ. He has his little side persona, DJ Diesel.
Is he good, though, or do people just go because it's Shaq?
I wouldn't know what a good DJ
Yeah, me
is
neither.
if you knocked me over the head with it. I've never been to a DJ show. I don't know anything about that kind. You think that anybody could just kind of hit, okay, here's this song, and then there's this one.
Well,
and
I think-
here's one with me scratching a record over the top. I don't know what a good...
Waffle, is he good? You listen to that kind of music, right?
I haven't listened to his show.
No.
I wonder, maybe he's good on the mic, but some of those DJs, the way they can mix music and they do it in real time
is pretty cool.
That's really
Crazy.
impressive.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Shaq does.
Oh, so he does do that kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, that's impressive if he can do all that.
But with DJs, a lot of it, you don't know how much is done behind the scenes.
Right.
So he could have mixed it behind the scenes and then just kind of acts like he's turning.
Oh, you some bitches are so high on ecstasy, you don't know even what the hell you're listening to.
Touche.
And some of our listeners are texting in saying, well, yeah, Cubby's got rhythm. I've heard him play a saxophone. Pop, 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 pop. It was my favorite solo of all time.
Let me know when this is going on too long.
It's been a while.
Love it. Here's Steelers fan Jesus talking about athletes with a side talent, non-athletic side talent. What about Chris Jericho and Fozzy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good singer.
I like Fozzy.
Well, another wrestler. What about Stone Cold Steve Austin and drinking beers?
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty good at that.
But maybe that's an athletic talent, though.
That is true. Yeah, it
I don't
definitely
know.
is.
I don't know.
I want to consider an athletic talent so I can say I'm athletically talented.
If it is an athletic talent, then Big Al's the greatest athlete on planet Earth. If drinking beer is a...
I've heard the Brotherhood's saying Shaq is good. Those that have seen him say he does a good job. Someone here specifically saw him in Ohio.
That's cool.
Now, although I have to say, maybe I had some of Wapple's ecstasy the last time I saw Fozzy, but I believe they were lip syncing. Anyway.
Oh, that's too bad.
At least sometimes. This is maybe my favorite of athletes with a non-athletic side talent. And this is one of our favorites. The innovator of the up dog joke. The greatest kicker maybe of our generation in the National Football League. Justin Tucker is an opera singer.
What?
Whoa, I got to look up some of that.
He supposedly rehearses before and after every practice. He'll sit down and the boys will watch him do, I've never heard of that.
You guys smell it? It smells like up dog. What's up dog? Nothing much, man. So yeah. All right.
Cute.
I've got to hear this man sing opera.
I got to find some.
See if you can. Yeah, I mean, don't hurt yourself. But Serena Williams, the tennis player who's like the best ever, she can sew things into next week. She sews her own clothes from raw materials.
Oh, that's cool.
We got listeners texting in on some that, aren't in this report. What's his nuts? The all-time goaltender from the New York Rangers who can play the guitar.
Oh,
Lundqvist.
Yeah, Lundqvist.
Ronnie Lundqvist.
Enrique,
he can play the guitar. Here's a listener says Brent Favre can send a mediocre D-pick.
Bad at paying his bills, but yeah, he can send a D-pick.
Art Resto Jesus says Dwayne Rollison, Rolly the goalie, was a drummer. I did not know that.
It's news to me.
So was Denny Green.
Oh!
Was it Sunshine Music Band?
Sunshine Music Band. Eyes never lie.
Hell yes! I'm so glad you brought that up. I
da 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 da. You know how many times I heard that every week?
Well, you hosted the show,
That's
right? I love watching the coach, the sheriff, play drums on your television show. He looks so happy.
He only played when they won.
Oh, yeah. And a 1 and a 2 and I'm on now.
Sunshine Music Band.
The great, why does the name Brianna Stewart ring a bell?
That's a basketball
WNBA.
Okay, she juggles.
That's cool.
God, I wish I could juggle
I
and
wish
play
I
the
could too. That's one thing I wish I really could do.
I want to play the piano. I want to juggle. I want to juggle chainsaws. I've told you this before. You gotta watch Mookie Betts bowl.
Pretty good.
He is incredibly good. I try to watch him as often as I can. I'm a bowling fan. I like to watch television bowling. And every once in a while, someone will have a charity show. Usually Chris Paul has a charity show, a charity round, whatever you call it in bowling. And Mookie Betts will show up and he'll whoop ass. Wapple from the WWE, Bianca Belair, also can sew. She's the EST of WWE, the coolest, the toughest, the prettiest.
That's my wife's favorite wrestler right there.
She's awesome. She sewed her own ESPY dress.
Oh, wow.
And
I wish I could sew like that.
She sews most of her own in-ring gear.
Huh. Didn't know that.
I think it's cool because I can fix like little holes in shirts. I wish I could do
Better
that.
than I could do.
And Ken Griffey Jr., one of the greatest hitters ever. He's full-blown into photography now. Matter of fact, he works sporting events.
Wow, that's cool.
I I didn't know that. Maybe our guy Kursky will run into Ken Griffey Jr. at a damn...
Who was... Randy Johnson does the same thing.
He's a photographer?
Yeah, and then he takes photos for the Diamondbacks, too, I believe.
He also goes bird hunting a lot, too.
Does he?
Yeah, with fastballs.
I hope I'm not alone on
Dude.
Well, he got one.
Yeah, he has won. He's got a winning record.
That was messed up.
I hope I'm not alone on this, but I think Blake Griffin is a pretty good stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
He
he's
is.
very funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's funny.
He's made some guest appearances on shows like Broad City. He's a very funny guy.
Former Wolves coach Flip Saunders was very, very good at card tricks.
Magician.
I wish I could do that too.
He would pull out things and you'd be like, how did he do that, or how did he know that? He was very good at that.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
The 93X half-assed morning show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
Ocean now knows the name of the baby.
No Amazon lines
Make
for that
impromptu.
one.
No. She's going to leak it.
Oh, if she tries to, I'm not letting her because she will leak the name.
Yeah, and she says it.
She goes, this would look so great for baby S.
Little baby Stephanie? Stephanie? People are still guessing. The most recent was Stone.
Oh, that's the name of my son. Stone.
Stone.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
The 93X half-assed morning show, Backtracks edition.
Boy, this might bring forth some stories, and that's great. A guy in England got home from a night out at the bar and was craving a pizza.
Been there.
So he fired up the Papa John's app on his phone to order one. He went with a pie called the Barbecue Meat Fest.
Whoa. Yum. That sounds amazing.
It is. I've had it.
Which has barbecue sauce topped with boogers. I'm kidding. Yes. Topped with mozzarella cheese, bacon, ham, pepperonis, sausage, and spicy beef. You like that one, huh, Cubby?
Yeah, it's good.
That sounds like a meat fest right there.
I'll give you a meat fest.
I bet you will.
But things went sideways for the dude. In his inebriated state, he ended up in the customization part of the app, and he accidentally removed every single topping, including the cheese. He's very drunk. So all the while, he thought he was adding those toppings when really he was subtracting them. And the pizza, hey, Papa John's, they'll deliver your pizza, the way you order it. It arrived at his house just as his drunk ass ordered it. Just the dough and barbecue sauce without any toppings.
That was still pretty good.
That's hilarious.
It didn't look the greatest.
The picture did not look good at all.
No.
It's just...
It looks like it's really old pizza.
Yeah.
Hammered. Stabbing at his phone. I want that. And I want that.
Screw what it looks like, as long as it tastes good, right?
True that. I had a lot of these pizzas because, as you guys know, the dump I moved into needed a lot of work. There's a lot of issues. And there was a company that was working on the exterior for about a year. And so I got to know these guys really well, and I loved having them around the house. And quite honestly, I miss them now that they're not there every day. But that was their favorite, Papa John's and a couple guys in particular, this particular pizza. So I went through a lot of that stuff. It's good.
Yeah, it is. Sounds good. So this guy, he got a kick out of the whole thing. In his post on Reddit, he said, shout out to Papa John's for honoring my post-pub late-night order of accidentally removing every item on a barbecue meat fest, thinking I was adding them. Commenters on Reddit also got a laugh out of the situation. Some said he got what he deserved for ordering a pizza with barbecue sauce.
Oh, get out of here.
You know how people have their little hang-ups as to what determines, real toppings on a pizza.
The barbecue sauce thing is relatively new for me just in the last couple of years. Is it possible I've had so much pizza I just needed a change? Because now I almost prefer that. That's pretty much my go-to now. One of the barbecue sauce pizzas.
I could see it. I once in a while do the white sauce, the garlic white sauce. That's really good, too.
Yeah, you do need to change it up sometimes, or else you'll get sick of it.
I would love it if some of yous out there fired up your cellular phones and texted us, 68683. Start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana. Do you have any interesting drunken food adventures, drunken food disasters, where you put together something or another to eat after drunk, and you woke up the next day and said, by God, I ate that? Or, something along those lines, because everybody here knows you might get a little foolish with your choices after too many drinkies.
Oh, yeah, I've looked back at like a McDonald's receipt or something and thought, that was all for me?
Oh, yeah.
And I ate all that?
I was hanging out with somebody like a couple weeks ago, and he went and passed out, and I was like, well, I'm hungry, so I ordered Arby's, and I ended up ordering like $70 worth of Arby's. I was like, oh, that's bad, but whatever. You can't go wrong with Arby's. I ate it for like 4 days.
So again, 68683, start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana. Your drunken food adventures or disasters. This isn't an adventure or a disaster, but it falls under the category. When I was, 20, 21, one of my favorite drunken foods was raviolios.
Oh, hell yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Chef Boyardee, I think, were the folks that mixed that up. I would buy the family can of raviolios. God, I just love that stuff. Drunk or sober, but especially drunk. And like when I packed my bags to go to St. Cloud to party with my buddies, I'd bring a stick of deodorant, maybe an extra T-shirt, and an effing family-size can of raviolios. So I knew at 3 o'clock in the morning I could dump it into a pan and make myself a snack. My brother used to get drunk, back when my brother was drinking, he used to get drunk and try to burn the house down. That was his thing. He'd get wicked drunk and then decide he's going to make something on the stove and then pass out on the couch. And one night there was just black smoke pouring off the top of the stove. He had put some pan full of pasta on the burner on high and gone to sleep. That was nerve-wracking.
Me and my buddy, we were hammered one time, and we made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but made them like grilled cheese, so we made them in a pan. But on the inside, we also put butterscotch chips. It was so good.
You put butterscotch chips?
Like chocolate chips, but butterscotch?
Yeah.
You got creative.
It was so good.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
So good.
I got to do more pot so I can come up with stuff like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
That could be at your restaurant.
That could be a state fair food, I feel like, too.
Mm-hmm. You got to get that food truck going. You could make that.
That could be a dessert. Sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top.
I just thought of another one back to St. Cloud State. We left the bar and went back to some dude's apartment. It was just 4 or 5 dudes. And as soon as one of our buddies walked into his apartment, he went straight for the fridge. Well, first he went to the cupboard and grabbed a giant bag of Tostitos tortilla chips. Then he goes to the fridge and grabs a can of salsa. And you know that drunken scene where he's just windmilling chips and stuff. He's so drunk and just exhausted and starving. And he's windmilling this chips and salsa into his yap. And somebody in the group, Donnie. His name was Donnie. One of the dudes goes, "Hey, Donnie, check out the lid for that salsa." He looks at the underside of the lid, like 6 inches of mold.
Oh, no.
The salsa was older than his mother.
Gross.
And he's just, oh, God, help us.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah.
Eating something and realize there's a lot of mold.
Yep.
That is very moldy. You've done that a couple times.
I see the text coming in. That's good, because I bet this will be fun.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good ones coming in.
Good stuff.
There was one time when it was right after college when I was really drinking a lot, back in the day, early 20s, prime party scene. And
Word.
came back home and I was craving a frozen pizza. I was like, I should eat something healthy.
Oh my gosh.
So then I attempted to cook chicken breasts in the toaster, and that did,
In the toaster?
It didn't work?
That did not work.
How'd your toaster hold up?
That toaster got thrown away.
Dude, what?
The toaster got salmonella.
Did you start a fire?
Here's just one example of a lot of good text coming in. Speaking of chicken, this person said they woke up with 4 whole chickens and 10 cheeseburgers from Quick Trip.
Oh, Quick Trip is dangerous. I've definitely had someone like come and pick me up from the bar, and they stop at Quick Trip for me, and I leave with so much food.
Yeah, holidays the same way for me.
Yep.
You know, I haven't been inside of Casey's yet. I've gotten gas at one, but everybody talks about Casey's too.
Oh, that's
Their pizza's
Yep.
so good.
Yeah, that's
Their
what I always
breakfast
hear.
Pizza. Oh.
I always hear their pizza's the way to go.
We asked our listening audience, the brother and sisterhood, to text us 68683. Start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana, and tell us some of your drunken food adventures or disasters. You get effed up. You come home, you're starving, and some kind of an adventure or disaster kicked in. And they responded, the brother and sisterhood, heartily on this subject. Speaking of heartily, you guys ever hear this? A dude I used to drink with when I was in my 20s, when he was really hungry, he would say, "Dude, I'm hearty. I got to get something to eat."
Hearty?
Yeah.
No, I haven't
He would
heard that
refer to himself as hearty. And what he wanted to do to cure his hardiness, he would harvest. Bro, I am so hardy. I got to harvest.
Bruh.
What did they send you over there, Cubby?
So this one I could see myself doing. I had a friend drunk DoorDash $30 worth of Taco Bell to the same street and house number as his, but it was in the state of Kentucky.
That sucks.
The guy just took the L on that one, but he tried it again, ordered it again to Kentucky. So the third time, he ordered it to Kentucky.
No, I'd be so mad.
This was all in one night?
All in one night.
Half hour long?
Well, I'm going to take that Kentucky right out of there. Up Kentucky again,
That
Kentucky
lucky
again.
person in
Yeah,
Kentucky,
no
though.
kidding. Think about that house. They're just
third
getting
time?
Well, wouldn't you think by the third time, all right, you'd be like
Yeah.
super paranoid?
Yeah. Somebody
The
watching
second
me.
time.
Same exact order, too, yeah.
This person started a bowl of ramen noodles, red pan, ended up white on the bottom with just ash in it. That's all that was left. Came home drunk, ate a can of tuna, only to find out the next morning I ate a can of wet dog food. This person said, my roommate in college once passed out while making a can of SpaghettiOs. The can was open and just placed in the center of the pan, boiling over. My buddy and I went through a family pack of taquitos when we were drunk a couple years ago.
Yum.
It's good living.
No stove, no microwave, just the pack. Poops for the next 2 days.
So what, they were raw or
I
something?
guess. Frozen? Don't you freeze those things?
I tried to eat frozen pizza rolls the other day. That didn't work out
I don't
so
eat
well.
taquitos.
I've never had those. They look good.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, they're good.
You tried to eat frozen pizza rolls?
Yeah, I guess I did. I woke up. I
this
think
was
it
a
was this
drunk
last
thing?
weekend. Yeah, I woke up and I had like a plate of pizza rolls next to me, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I went to pick one up, and I was like, "These are definitely rock solid." What did I do?
You woke up with pizza rolls and stitches on your face?
Yeah.
Is that how you got your stitches?
Yeah, why won't you admit that you were?
I wasn't.
Because you weren't. You weren't drunk when you
No,
fell and
just
smashed
an
your face
idiot.
open.
Well, I know somebody else drove you there.
Yep.
Were you drinking?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Where was, let's go to this page. I got home from the bar at 3:30 in the morning, threw a pizza in the oven, woke up 7 hours later. Pizza was done. 12-inch pizza, now 8 inches. I drilled a hole in it and screwed it to the tailgate of my brother's truck. 20 years ago, the last night of a music fest with no food left, just Kraft singles on graham crackers were all we had. Thus, the cheesy graham was invented.
Wow.
That might be good.
Cheese on graham crackers?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could get down with that.
That does sound like it might be pretty good.
I don't know if that combination would work, but I would try it.
I'm not proud to admit, but we tried to prank my neighbor while we were all hammered. So I ordered 30 pizzas to his house.
Dude.
I was so drunk, though, I gave them my credit card number when I meant to have him pay for them. The next morning, I woke up with a $350 credit card charge, and his neighbor had put about 30 pizzas on his front step. That's from Texas Carpenter. This person says, not drunk but high, I ate an entire 2-pound bag of peanut butter M&Ms in 3 hours.
That's impressive, yeah.
I mean, I love peanut M&Ms, but I bet you got a little case of gut rot from that.
Oh, all that sugar.
Ooh,
I wonder if that messes with you.
Those are tough to put down.
That's from Foundry Red. Jesus.
One of the best food orders I ever saw, a drunken food order. We were at a bar and the late night happy hour kicked in. So the waitress was like, hey, beers are buy one, get one, appetizers are half off. And my buddy just looks at her and goes, I'll take 10 mozzarella sticks. And she's like, well, they come in plates of 12. And he goes, yeah, I want 10 orders of mozzarella sticks.
That's awesome.
And then he went around the bar handing out mozzarella sticks to people.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Again, we're rolling through your text messages on your drunken food disasters or adventures. Now, here's a guy who texted in and tried to help himself out. And it sounds like maybe it worked. He says, after gaining a bunch of weight from making and eating large meals while drunk, I knew I had to change something. And drinking was not on that list of things to change. So sober, responsible me left drunk me a note on the refrigerator that said, go to sleep, you idiot. Nice. Got so drunk once. Well, I got a few of these. Taking the pizza out the oven too fast and putting it into your mouth too soon.
Oh, yeah.
Got a few of those. Listener says, I once woke up from a night of drinking, and next to me was an untouched bag of McDonald's at the end of my bed. I ate it.
Hell yeah.
Fruity Pebbles with blue Powerade was someone's
Yum.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of good.
Drunken food of choice. Fruity Pebbles with Powerade. My brother was hammered one night, says a listener, and cooked some poultry. But not exactly. He put a pot of water on the stove for mac and cheese. He passed out while the water was boiling. The steam was enough to kill his roommate's bird that was caged by the kitchen.
Dude.
Oh, my
God.
I mean, do you eat it?
Steamed bird?
Yeah.
No,
you don't?
No.
I mean, you don't.
Like starting your hangover off with some steamed bird.
I mean,
imagine that smell.
It would suck if it died for nothing.
I've never heard of that before. I've never heard anything quite like that, but that's from Brock Lesnar. Jesus.
Poor bird.
The bird's just kind of, tap dancing a little bit. Getting a little warm in here, boys. You're not going to fall asleep. Oh, no, you're not going to fall asleep, are you? Waka Jesus tried grilling steak and bacon when drunk. He lost all the hairs off his arms from the flare-ups.
Oh, sure.
I'll bet.
What do you think about this? Now, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about interesting food combinations. I think Wapple rolled us through all of McDonald's kind of off-the-menu creations. You put a fish sandwich on top of a chicken nugget and you call it the gangbang or whatever the hell. Okay. What do you think about this combination? Listener says, me and the boys took a frozen pizza and added leftover stroganoff on top.
Oh, my God.
I love stroganoff.
Cooked it. Some bitch was about 3 inches thick, and it was the bomb. I was, this is interesting. Okay, this is going to be fun. Maybe. I have a text here that somehow wasn't completed. Maybe their boss walked in and caught him texting or something. This is all I have in front of me. Maybe Wapple can help us. The text simply said, I was drinking heavily with Wapple's cousin, and we accidentally... Now, Wapple, do you know the rest of that story?
No, I don't.
Do you have a cousin who's a big drinker?
Yeah, a lot of my cousins are big drinkers.
I was drinking heavily with Wapple's cousin, and we accidentally...
Oh, I want to know.
Could be anything.
There's no way you could take a guess on that?
I would have no idea.
All right.
I wonder if they accidentally did what this person watched another drunk dude do. I watched a guy get hammered and then eat a whole box of frozen corn dogs.
Oh. A buddy of mine was so drunk, says a listener, his motor skills had failed him. Motor skills gone. He was so drunk he couldn't even get the Cheez-Its out the box and into his mouth with his arm.
Oh, sad.
Couldn't even do that.
I love Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
Those mess with my stomach, though.
Oh, really?
Worth it.
Oh, I could eat them all day, every day. So, guy couldn't physically bring the Cheez-Its to his yap. So, he dumped them on the table and slid them into his mouth off the edge of the table.
You got to do what you got to do.
$60 worth of White Castle, says a listener, on the topic of drunken food adventures or disasters. $60 worth of White Castle. They say it hurt mentally and physically. I can imagine.
I dated a gal once and she lived across the street from a Taco Bell. And,
oh, wow. How did you ever break up?
we were pretty gooned up one night and we wanted Taco Bell, but only the drive-thru was open and they wouldn't let us walk through the drive-thru. They had a policy against that. So we called a cab to come pick us up to take us through the drive-thru so we could get Taco Bell.
That's actually really smart.
Another White Castle story. Walked into White Castle drunk. Ordered the food. Paid for it. Drunkenly left without it. Went home.
Have any of you guys ever done that?
Yes.
Sober, I mean?
Yes, not with food.
Like you go to a gas station and you leave whatever you just bought on the counter and walk out?
Yep. I left some items. Not that long ago, I went to one of those grocery stores, and I left without the lunch meat that I just paid for. But my favorite activity under that category, Josh, I don't know how many times I've gone to the gas station. I'll take a roll of Skoal Mint. The guy puts the roll on the counter. I pay for it, and I leave.
Oh, no.
And that stuff's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. You leave here. A lot of times it's right after we leave here, and I'm not all there when this program is over. Let me roll through a few more of these real quick. We'll take a break here in a minute. Stouffer's lasagna. Stouffer's lasagna, the family size. Listener says, when I'm drunk, that's just a me size.
That's good stuff.
Odd drunken food combinations. Toast with mayo, guacamole, and jalapeno hot sauce.
Ugh.
One listener says, I made a shot glass out of ham.
I want to see that.
He took a shot of rum out of a ham shot glass.
You can eat it afterwards.
He says,
ham chaser.
New Year's Eve, worst idea ever.
Oh, I don't think that sounds like a bad idea. This person is on the opposite end. They're not the drunkard here in this situation. Instead, they're the pizza delivery guy who got a call at closing, told him I'd deliver, but make it worth my while because we're closing. So he showed up. I could see him passed out on the kitchen floor. So I got back to the store and called the guy again and told him I was there, but you were passed out. He said, come back, I'll make it worth your while. I showed up again. He was passed out on the floor again. This time the door was open and there was a note on the counter that said, take the cash, pizza guy. Easiest 100 I ever made. I'm sure he felt the pain of waking up the morning with $100 less cash in his wallet. Cock Jesus.
That is good.
So the person who texted you, Nick, and was cut off regarding drinking with Wapple's cousin.
Oh, do you have an answer? Because I have one as well.
Oh, yeah, go ahead then. Finish that off.
Well,
sausage fingers, Jesus?
No, it was somebody different.
Okay.
So what happened was I received a text that got cut off, and it had to do with our guy Wapple, or at least a member of Wapple's family. The text says, I was drinking heavily with Wapple's cousin, and we accidentally blank. That's where it cuts off. You got an answer, Josh?
Yeah.
What did they say?
So he said it was actually multiple cousins. Told the pothead cousin to grab 2 Crave cases from White Castle. Well, the cousin thought he said 10. So he came back with 10 Crave cases, and there was only 8 of them.
That's heaven.
Could you go through more than a Crave case? Anybody here?
Oh, no. God, no.
What is it, 24 to a Crave case?
It's in that
30.
I can
Is it
maybe
30?
eat like 3 sandwiches, and that's it.
Why you couldn't eat 3 sliders?
I'm weak.
Oh, God, they're so damn good. I mean, yeah, I could.
I bet you could.
I'd give it a shot. There's no way I could wipe out a Crave. I got a completely different answer to the story. I was drinking heavily with Wapple's cousin, and we accidentally blank. This listener seems to have been there, and it's a completely different story. I was drinking heavily with Wapple's cousin, and we accidentally invited Wapple.
Awkward.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not over yet. He showed up with fresh bruises from his girlfriend and a DVD on the career of Rob Van Dam. All right, more of these eating adventures / disasters. Texas elevator Jesus got drunk, ate 20 Taco John's tacos.
Whoa.
For a week, he says, I was like a goose. A member of the Brotherhood says, my favorite drunk food is a hot dog with peanut butter on one side of the bun and mayo on the other.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Oh, I'd try that.
Will you people finally grow up? Do this for me. Grow up and throw all of your mayonnaise and ketchup into a trash can where it belongs.
And light it on fire.
Ugh, dry mouth.
Nope.
Never pass out. Never pass out while boiling eggs. A listener says, I heard a boom. And there was egg all over the ceiling.
Oh, that's so scary.
Anybody ever had Budweiser and Cheerios?
No.
Otherwise known as Beerios.
I've heard people say Beerios.
Oh, once when I was really high, I drank a half gallon of chocolate milk, and I'm lactose intolerant, dude.
Oh, no.
Does that just make you fart your ass loose? Is that what that does?
I wonder if that's worse than diarrhea.
Cha-cha-cha.
I wonder if that, people who have that condition, if realizing you drank that versus like a half bottle of Jäg, which is worse?
Right.
Because I've been there with Jägermeister where all of a sudden I realized how much of it I drank and I thought, oh, this is going to be bad.
Yep.
I start to have that fear. I'd imagine it's got to be the same if you're lactose intolerant. You said it was chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk.
Trouble.
Here's my final. It's a good one. A listener says, I got drunk and my buddies bet me I couldn't eat 32 ounces of peanut butter with nothing to drink. He did it. After eating 32 ounces of peanut butter, I continued to drink. When I got home, I threw up peanut butter all over my yard. When I woke up, the squirrels were eating it.
There's a neighborhood of drunken squirrels.
They were eating it.
Oh, there's so many good ones coming in.
We appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Here's a mystery. Maybe you guys can help solve this mystery.
Was it this hanging out with Wapple's cousin mystery
No,
again?
this is a completely un-Wapple-related mystery.
Well, this will be fun.
Woke up in college one morning to a half-eaten cake on the counter with fingerprints from eating it. Written on the cake was, Happy birthday, you drunk bastard. But it was no one's birthday, and none of my roommates remember making it. So did somebody drunkenly steal a birthday cake, bring it home, and eat half of it?
Yep.
Somebody broke into a bakery.
Stole a birthday cake.
He just,
Ordered your birthday cake and then went to go pick it up. Had it delivered.
This
Those are
is
good times.
A considerate eater who ate in shame. She says, 3 a.m., sitting in my bathroom, eating a double quarter pounder with cheese so I don't wake up my boyfriend. I've been in similar situations.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
All right, let's close out Randy and Brad's week here. 69 plus 28 episodes ago, we thought about calling this segment the Dork Off. And you're about to find out why. We add one more to the total. Here is this week's edition. It's Dad Fight 69 plus 29.
Dad fights! Dad fights! Here's what it's like.
Sing it, Cubby.
Is it Dad Fights?
Yes.
Dad fights! Randy and Brad, they just fight. Dad fights! Yeah!
How's your phone, Brad?
It's okay, I think. I hope.
Oh my God.
We swapped the lines.
What are we going to do? I just thought, what are we going to do for 69 plus 31? Are there any preliminary plans in the books here, or what?
For number 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 100. We'll come. We don't think that ahead of time, Brad Ryder, but you're welcome to join the meetings when we try to figure it out.
Okay, I'll chime in on
Join the meetings.
Brad Ryder, let's check how quickly your phone is reacting to what you're hearing on the other end of it. I'm going to say Cactus Jack, and then you say bang, bang as quickly as you okay. You following
Okay.
as quickly? Okay,
Yep.
ready? Cactus Jack. He's exaggerating.
Yep, he is.
Bang,
He was gonna do
bang,
that.
bang.
Son of a bitch, you.
Try it again with Wapple.
All right, I'll try Wapple now. Cactus Jack. Bang.
There's only one bang.
No, I went bang.
It was so quick. It was so quick the ear can barely hear. Oh, there's two bangs.
Yeah.
That was two bangs.
That was two bangs.
2 bangs, bro. Gotta let me bang.
Oh, I do let you bang.
Bang, bro. All right, just want to bang.
Do we
bro.
still have audio of when
just really
Wapple?
wanna bang.
He was crying, begging to let him bang, and Josh Josh comforted him by saying, "I do let you bang." I think we still have that somewhere.
Yeah, it's we got it somewhere.
Brad, get all of your phone complaints out right now. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
No, there's been a couple of times when Randy's been on the phone. He's not, so we switched over after Wally called. But when Randy's been on the phone and when I've been on the request line, and Wapple knows this, he will admit it if he's under oath that there is a delay.
I'm bored already.
Yeah.
I do let you bang.
Dude.
I do let you bang.
But it's not about who wins; it's about how we play the game, right?
Did you know Randy Shaver's going for 5 wins in a row?
I do know that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the overall record is tied at 38 right now apiece between you two.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is
I
it. So this
thought
is
maybe I had fallen behind after this little streak.
we're tied at what? 38 apiece.
38 apiece.
That's it. This is the championship game.
Is this the last one?
Next week we're going to do a bit called Phone Bitch,
Yeah.
where everyone gets on their phone and we bitch about what's going on with it.
Actually, I do feel a lot better now that I know that we're tied. I thought it was like way behind. Okay.
Wapple, Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
So cute.
I heard
Cactus
the two bangs.
Jack.
Bang, bang.
Oh, he's on his toes now.
No kidding, man.
Head on a swivel over there.
We were just talking about Sylvia Fowles.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna hang it up. One of the greatest athletes of the last 20 years or so is on her way out. Tennis's Serena Williams. We talked about that a couple of days ago. From what we hear, she's going to compete in the U.S. Open tennis tournament here at the end of the month, and then she's going to close out a career that will go down as one of the greatest. So in honor of their accomplishments today, our Dad Fights topic is the greatest female athletes that we've ever seen. Of all time. Bold North or otherwise. Bold North, South, East, West. Bold North.
North.
Sunday's the big day here in the Bold North as Super Bowl 41. God. We're covering many different sports here.
Okay.
Even one lady who was one of my favorite performers of all time, male or female. That's a bit of a hint. Don't guess now. You might end up ruining everything, and then Wapple's bound to have one of his tantrums, and he'll be way off with the bang bang bit.
So off.
Some of the greatest female athletes of all time. Here's an example question so folks listening at home or at work know how this pig operates. Known as the First Lady of Drag Racing, she was the first woman to receive a license from the National Hot Rod Association to drive a Top Fuel dragster. She won the NHRA Top Fuel Championship in 77, 80, and 82. She won a total of 18 NHRA national events.
No idea.
I don't blame you for not knowing. I don't blame you for not knowing. It's just an example question. Shirley Muldowney.
Shirley Muldowney.
I've heard the name.
The Muldowney name is obviously famous in the sport.
With the NHRA coming to Brainerd next weekend, I thought that would be fitting to throw her into the mix. Now, these days, you got your Brittany Force and your Leah Pruitt and Alexis DeJora and the gal who drives Pro Stock and her name starts with an E. It's not Encarnacion. It's Erica Enders. And I'm probably forgetting a few other ladies who drive Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock. You see what I'm saying? The chicks, man.
Chicks.
Gotta look out for the chicks. Today's competition is head-to-head. Gentlemen, your goal is to beat your opponent to the correct answer. If you're correct, where is it? You'll hear the bell. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. If you hear someone say Cactus Jack, you'll hear Wapple say.
Somebody texted in Wapple and said they're not surprised that you're a quick bang.
Oh, my God.
Just about as fast as I could get the 2 bangs out.
Josh knows this story. Back in high school, there was a kid that was in my class who was notorious for that. So when he'd walk down the hall, we'd sing the old Motley Crue song, 10 Seconds to Love. 10 seconds! I can't do the Vince Neil thing, but he'll be in town Sunday.
Neither can he.
Happy work anniversary, by the way, too, Waffle.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that on Twitter this morning.
Been here for 10 years. He started when he was 11.
Somebody posted that on Twitter?
Yeah, I threw it up on our morning show Twitter.
If you're incorrect, you'll hear the Costco cheese squeeze. And you'll receive no points. 10 challenges plus a little old tiebreaker if needed. Check out our intro today. Here is Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus to kick this operation square in the crotch.
This is Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus coming to you from the mean streets of Lakeville. I'm a father to one prestigious but inconsequential video game title. What's up, ladies? One cat with gastrointestinal issues that would put Nick to shame, and 0 life.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Our first contestant is a part-time teacher, the 7th string play-by-play guy for high school baseball, and full-time family man who hails from an intersection out west which they call Clara City. His play-by-play calls are so nasty they've left a trail of dropped panties from Invergrove Heights to Peoria, Illinois. I'm speaking about the lonely boy, Brad Ryder. Our second contestant comes from an unnamed township arbitrarily placed between 2 cornfields in the middle of Iowa. Weighing in at 435 pounds, most of it in the trunk, Randy the Ass Man Shaver. Get strapped in and hold on tight, because today's matchup features ass versus class.
What?
Teach versus peach.
What?
Peacemaker versus pacemaker.
What?
Social studies versus social security.
What?
Wanker versus anchor.
Brad is jacking off.
This is Dad Fights 69. 29. Let's go!
All right, who is that again? We got to give that person some more love.
Yeah. Cubby, that was Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
That's really
versus
good.
Anchor. I love when he says the title and then he goes, "Sup, ladies?"
Yeah. He's clever.
That was funny.
Very good, very good.
Now, if he's being serious, what does it mean to be a grand champion? What's the Rocket League?
It's the video game where you're basically playing soccer with cars.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's a very popular game.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Well, that was an all-timer. Thank you. And by the way, if you'd like to be completely overshadowed by that intro and give us a fresh intro, we need your name, your Jesus name, your phone number. You send that to hams93x@gmail.com, and we appreciate it very much when you get involved in the intros. That was outstanding. The greatest female athletes of all time, Dad Fight 69 plus 29. It's Brad Ryder versus Randy Shaver. Here we stinkin' go.
Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
God, he's good.
You're not going to get him today.
This 2-time World Cup champion scored 158 goals.
Mia Hamm.
Bang, bang. Yes, Brad. Wow, excellent. The full question would have been, this 2-time World Cup champion scored 158 goals in her U.S. career and has a last name that might make you hungry for a sandwich. Mia Hamm was the correct answer.
My damn, that was fast, Brad Ryder.
Wow, that's awesome. Brad, already, number 1.
How you doing, Randy?
Just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you right there? Did you have it too?
Nope.
Did you guys know that Mia Hamm is married to former Major League Baseball shortstop Nomar Garcia-Parra?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I bet they have some handsome children.
I would think so.
I've seen Nomar on that Captain documentary a few times.
Oh, you
Well,
watched
how is
that,
that?
huh?
Yeah.
Is it decent?
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I don't know if anybody else is watching it, but it's good.
I'm going to try to throw a wapple here. Oh, you didn't know?
your ass better call somebody.
You're like a trained monkey.
Actually, give him a treat. He did a good job there.
Give him a treat.
He likes it when you scratch behind his ears.
That was a good cheese.
Here's question number.
Give him a treat.
Challenge number 2. You may have seen this gold medalist doing commercials for Subway recently. In fact, her height, if measured in foot-long Subway...
Simone Biles.
Her height, if measured in foot-long Subway subs, would be just over 4.5 subs. She is 4 foot 8 inches tall. Randy Shaver is correct. Simone Biles.
Can't imagine being that short.
You were at one point in your life.
That was great. I loved that so much.
You know, Dana, I've never been high, but that seems like something someone would say if we were all high together.
Yeah, it does.
I never would have thought that.
Every person has been that height.
If you're over 4 feet 8, you've been that high.
Yeah, so you're a liar, Ashley. You can't imagine.
I guess so.
Think deep, Ashley.
Do your own research.
And just for the record, Ashley, it's not like you could post her up. What are you, 5 foot tall?
I'm 5'5".
You are not 5'5".
Yes, I am. I'm an average girl height.
Well, we're not too far away from a Subway. Let's go get some footlongs and we'll figure this out.
Yes.
We'll measure you up.
Here's a little Danalysis on Simone Biles. She taught herself how to do backflips off mailboxes when she was 5.
Jeez,
Wow.
Try hard.
That worked out for her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no.
Maybe you should show a little bit more ambition. You wouldn't be sitting here with us.
Maybe I shouldn't have added that in because there's going to be drunk members of the brother and sisterhood. They're going to try to do backflips off mailboxes this weekend.
Did you see what she did when she threw out the first pitch at the Twins game the other day?
Yeah, that was
awesome.
great.
Super cool.
I mean,
Really good.
it's just like it's nothing, No big deal.
We're tied at 1. We're slightly confused, Dana and I, and we're tied at 1. We'll tell you later why we're confused. Here we go.
Brad had a front row seat at Target Center for some of this athlete's best performances, where she would perform.
Lindsay Whalen.
Nope.
Okay.
Where she would perform at halftime on a unicycle while balancing bowls on her head.
Panda.
Oh, we're not going to
enough.
accept that? That's not enough?
Not enough.
No.
Red Panda.
Oh, I don't know. I think, okay, well.
Well,
I know who you're talking about.
Time out. We leave it up to Wapple. He's the official scorekeeper. Randy said Panda. The answer is Red Panda. Wapple.
Really?
Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Oh, man. The judges are tough today.
They killed him. As God is my witness, he's been broken in half.
Cactus Jack. Yep.
That was brutal, Wapple.
I can just see Rocco throwing his hat, looking up at the booth. What are they saying in New York? Wow, I guess we're picky today. Red Panda, sure. Who started doing NBA games in 1993 on Thanksgiving Day after an act canceled at the last minute. In 2018, her unicycle got stolen and she had to make a new one using spare parts. After hearing that story, the Golden State Warriors bought her a brand new one.
What a great...
Always the PR guy wishing Wapple happy work anniversary paid off.
Oh, you buttered the kid up.
That was the hint a little bit earlier when I said one of my favorite male or female performers of all time was going to be involved in this contest. I am the #1 Red Panda fan in the county. I would watch her every damn night. I adore her, and her act is terrific. Greatest show on earth. 2-1 Brad Ryder. Is that where we're going with this?
No.
No, I got it after the fact.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
I guessed Lindsay Whalen.
No. I've simply forgotten the score. I don't
It's
know.
1-1.
Okay, 1-1. 1-1. All right, here's number 4. She was called the 9th wonder of the world. She's the only woman to ever hold the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
China.
Now it's 2-1 Brad Ryder.
Now it's 2-1 Brad Ryder.
That is right, Brad.
Yeah.
The rest of the question would be, but you old perverts probably know her because she posed in Playboy. Yes, China. She was the first ever woman to compete in the Royal Rumble back before they had a separate Rumble for women, God rest her soul. China was outstanding, and just about every female performer credits her as an influence.
Yep.
China. Nice one, Brad Ryder.
All right, so what the
my wrestling knowledge facts are random, but yeah.
Mostly Playboy related.
Yeah.
Sure. I wasn't going to go there.
He knows Sable. He knows Tori Wilson.
Were the Bella twins ever in Playboy?
No.
No? All right.
Unless I have been robbed of something. I don't think so. Wapple, they've never been in. Right?
I don't think so.
No.
Boy, I bet you'd be having a bad day if they were several years ago and you missed it. You've lived all these years without watching
It'd be
or looking
like
at that Playboy.
It'd be like when I didn't know about that naked...
Wrecking Ball.
What's her name again?
Miley Cyrus, the Wrecking Ball video.
Yeah, I didn't know about that Wrecking Ball video until 3 years after it came out, and it made me mad.
All right, so I'm going to read this question as written. Hopefully it's less confusing.
I probably should have flipped that around, but
that's fine.
Don't worry about it.
So I will read this as written. Josh's softball-loving daughter had a poster of her on her wall growing up of this gold medal pitcher.
Jenny Finch.
Jenny Finch is correct.
Nice.
Time magazine called her the most famous softball player in history. She retired in 2010, but still pops up on ESPN to do commentary during the College Softball World Series.
She is a pretty lady.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is.
3-1 Brad Ryder here as we go through the greatest female athletes of all time. We're up to number 7. This speedster.
Nope, we're at number 6.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Before winning gold medals and World Cups, you could have traveled down 35W and saw her...
Lindsey Vonn.
Nice.
Nice. Good one.
And saw her...
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
You could have traveled down 35W and saw her train at Buck Hill in Burnsville. Randy Shaver has made the score 3-2. You're correct, Lindsey Vonn. On skis at age 2. Well, that ain't nothing. Smokey from Friday, he'd been smoking since he was 2. Her family moved from Burnsville to Colorado in the early 90s so she could concentrate on skiing. And there you go. 3-2. Lindsay, what does she do now? Does she not ski anymore?
No, she's retired from skiing.
Retired. God help us. Is she even 30 years old?
Oh, yeah.
37.
Oh, Jesus balls. What a life.
Isn't she married to somebody famous?
Thomas Vaughn. Well, she was married to him, but they're broken up.
I think with PK Subban.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
They broke up, for Pete's sake.
All right, now we're on question 7. This speedster was a pioneer for women in her sport, and you could always tell it was her by her recognizable GoDaddy car.
Danica Patrick.
I got it.
That was Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danica was in the news recently when she told a story about her then boyfriend doing a bunch of drugs in Peru.
Karen was her boyfriend.
She recently told a story about him doing drugs in Peru?
Yeah.
I missed that. And she's referring to Karen.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Randy, you almost lost a tooth on that one.
I did.
But you were correct. You were first, Danica Patrick, and we are tied. Gentlemen, this gold medal athlete literally did a front flip off the mound recently before throwing out the first pitch in front of her hometown fans at Target Field.
Simone Biles.
It's up to Randy Shaver. Brad is incorrect.
Oh, why can't I think of her name?
For the lead.
I can't think of her name. Son of a buck. I cannot think of her name. The girl from St. Paul. Can't think of her name.
Suni Lee.
Suni Lee.
Oh.
Son of a buck. I could not think of her name.
Which is, and that goes back to why Dana and I were confused when Brad said about Simone.
Yeah, I had the wrong.
Brad said about it.
Unbelievable. I could not think of her name.
You were saying Simone Biles. It was Suni Lee. She's now
You're
competing
right.
at Auburn University. She's competing at Randy. Take it easy.
God!
Son of a fuck!
Cactus Jack! Bang, bang!
She also appeared on Dancing with the Stars and finished 5th.
Son of a buck. God darn it. I could see her. I couldn't think of her.
You have to get over it and move on.
We both owe apologies to that family because
We
I
do.
confused her with
Son
Simone
of a
Biles
gun.
and you couldn't think of her name.
I mean, that's embarrassing. She was amazing.
What's the score, Wapple?
3-3.
We're still tied at 3.
Man, this is exciting.
This is a big one, yeah.
Dang
almost
it.
done with this contest, too.
Randy!
What?
There's a lot of tension going on, Red Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
Some folks say this two-time NCAA champion and gold medalist was even better than her little brother, who was also pretty
Phil Miller.
Nice, Brad.
Yes.
That's a good one.
who was also pretty good at hoops himself. Cheryl Miller, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Danalysis tells me this even came up on an episode of Seinfeld where Elaine kept referring to Reggie Miller as Cheryl's younger brother.
Nice one, Brad Ryder. I like when the games get tight, first and last names become one word. Show me. Finish it. This is it. Brad Ryder, if you get it correct, you win. If nobody gets it, Brad wins. If Randy gets it, we go to a tiebreaker. Wapple, to be the man.
You gotta beat the man.
This tennis legend.
Billie Jean King.
Oh, my God.
I got to give you credit. You took a shot.
Talk about just waiting for a fastball.
Oh, dude.
Won 39 major titles in her career, or 40 if you count her victory over Bobby Riggs in the infamous, famous, whatever you want to call it, Battle of the Sexes from back in the early 70s, 1973, the Houston Astrodome. More than 50 million people watched that tennis match because Bobby Riggs said, no female can beat me, and then she greased the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It comes down to a tiebreaker, Gubby.
Oof.
Kind of nervous.
I kind of think this is going to end in a tie. We'll see. Minnesota Gopher and Lynx legend Lindsay Whalen grew up in what Minnesota town?
I got it.
No, I did.
No.
That was Randy.
Yeah.
No way. I was in first.
Don't let anyone tell you that these dorks don't want to win. I got one for you, Wapple. Wapple. You know, I think it's going to be a nice weekend. Or maybe I might say, I think my favorite color is blue. Or maybe, boy, I think that Randy Shaver is the greatest dad fight competitor of all time.
I don't know.
You would say, it doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Exactly. What an outstanding showdown
That was
today.
a fun one.
Randy Shaver with the incredible comeback. Brad
Thank
Ryder.
you. Thank you.
Unable to hang on to his lead. Randy's won 5 in a row.
I think
I
I'm
am
coming in studio next week.
I am owning this summer.
I'm coming, except for June and half of July when I won 4 in a row. So, yeah.
3.
Randy says this is a hot boy
Dana,
summer.
who's the overall leader now?
You are with
You
39.
got that right.
We got to go, you pukes, but it was a great show. We'll talk to you both on Monday.
Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
The 93X half-assed morning show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
Every week, Michael Rosenbaum is getting deep with someone new on the Inside of You podcast.
Let's get inside of Kevin Smith. I can go to a movie and enjoy it, and I'm never like, I could have done that better.
Really?
Never. I started as a fan. I'll finish as a fan. And the difference between this iteration of Kevin Smith at age 53 and the one that most people met at the beginning of my career, back then, I would have told you all the movies that I hate, and here are the reasons why they suck. And you would never hear that from me today.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, wherever you listen.
The 93X half-assed morning show Backtracks edition.
Cubby, would you say that you have or had an addiction to Mountain Dew?
No, I don't think so because, I've given it up before. I just really like it. But I could easily give it up.
Okay.
By easily, I mean, sure, I'd miss it. But if you said, hey, doctor says you got to give it up, I could do that.
How, I know you've mentioned this many times before, but I always forget. How much were you taking in? How much Mountain Dew were you going through when you were at your best, or maybe some would say at your worst?
I would say at my worst, well, for sure, I would bring a 2-liter in here every day and drink that.
Dude.
So maybe that.
I remember the 2-liter days.
It's insane.
Those were the days that Josh was referencing earlier when we were young and cool and thought we wouldn't be here beyond our 30th birthday.
But that's when I was working here, and then I was landscaping, all day long, and then coming back working here. So,
would you drink it straight from the 2-liter, or did you pour it in a glass?
Oh yeah, I'd white trash that baby. Yeah, right from the 2-liter.
Love it.
I had some pretty strong wrist strength. Just when you start that thing out, that's kind of heavy.
I still remember. Isn't it funny what you remember? I still remember the sounds of the Mountain Dew sloshing back and forth in the 2-liter.
Yeah, I'd bring one in every day.
We would be sitting together here doing what was at the time awful radio, and I still remember the sounds of the sloshing, and it was like that scene from Napoleon Dynamite when he wipes out that Gatorade when he's just cooked from dancing his ass off. You know that scene? Just pa, he just jams it and pa, and very dramatic movements when Josh was young and would rip through the.
I'm only about 1 can a day now, sometimes 2 cans a day.
I was just reading about a guy.
This is a guy in the UK?
Yeah. Wales. He's 41 years old. He's in Wales. And the word is he finally kicked his addiction to Pepsi. And then this is going to make, your intake look like kid stuff. The guy was going through $700 a month in Pepsi.
Whoa! Yeah, that's crazy. It was somewhere around 30 cans a day this guy was having.
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere near that.
And he was smooth on hooked. The way he tells the story. I mean, it was an addiction. He was drinking it all day, every day for 20 years.
Jesus, blood was probably Mountain Dew.
This is Pepsi.
Oh, sorry.
But maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe Pepsi turns into Mountain Dew in your blood. Maybe that's how they make it.
I mean, who knows? Yeah.
You cross Pepsi with human blood, you get Mountain Dew. Dude worked at a grocery store, so he had easy access to Pepsi. Until recently, he drank up to 10 liters of Pepsi a day.
Dude.
Gut rot.
Holy Jesus balls.
My teeth hurt just thinking about that.
And then he would go online and buy Buffalo Bills jerseys. Until he passed out in his grandparents' basement. No, he was spending, here's all kinds of arithmetic for you, around $8,600 a year, roughly $25 a day. We could go on and on, but 10 liters of Pepsi a day. And let's just, it was just costing him a fortune.
I'm surprised he wasn't way bigger than he is.
Well, it says here he was 250 pounds. I haven't seen a photo of the guy. I don't know how he wears that 250 pounds.
He's definitely heavy, but
maybe he didn't eat much. Maybe he just was so full all the time from all the Pepsi.
I was just going to ask you. Think of all that sugar.
I'm going to drink my calories.
And
did he have a big old belly on him, Cubby?
Yeah. He's a heavy guy, but seen worse.
Yeah, just a Pepsi
Go to
belly.
your local amusement park, you'll see way worse than this.
Oh yeah, he's not that big.
No, he's definitely not in shape, but
give it a couple months when we head off to the state fair. You want to see big.
Yeah.
250 pounds, and he was putting on weight. That kind of woke him up a little bit. He was packing on the pounds. His doctor said, "Look, I'm worried about you catching that diabetes." So over 20 years, they assume he drank 220,000 cans of Pepsi.
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
I wonder if Pepsi's stock has dropped.
Dude.
After this guy. At least in the UK.
And you know what just crossed my mind? I don't know, maybe he's not a drinking man. He's 41 years old. You think the guy would imbibe once in a while. He doesn't say anything about whether he was mixing it in with hooch now and again.
Well, I'll say this about the guy, and have no idea if that's had anything to do with his Pepsi habit, but he looks a lot older than 41. I can tell you that.
He does, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say, Wapple?
Yeah, definitely. I'm reading this, and it said that after he kind of kicked the habit of drinking all this Pepsi, he drank his first glass of water in 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
I can
That is insane.
I can believe that because you should meet my parents. They are
Drink some water.
so adverse to anything other than coffee. And then for my dad, it's beer. And for my mother, it's hard liquor. Water is completely off the table. It's not even an option.
Water is so good, though.
I told you the story about my dad and I went fishing a number of years ago, and it was extremely hot out on the boat. In the middle of Lake of the Woods. No shade, no nothing, no breeze. It was just stinking hot. Like yesterday, dummied down just a little bit. And I told my dad, because as soon as he gets on the boat, he's pulling heaters and ripping down Budweisers. And I said, at the time he was 75 years old, I said, you better dial it back here. I'm not going to be, I don't want to be ripping back to shore 100 miles an hour because you're dead, Do something, drink some water. Oh, yeah, it's probably a good idea. And he goes and gets a bottle of water. He unscrews the cap. He took the tiniest little sip, and he screws the cap back on. And I go, oh, that ought to do it. They just will not hydrate themselves properly. Older folks, coffee. It's all they need. And then, I'll take a half hour off, take a dump, and then we're on to the booze and the beer. But anyway, this guy, this Pepsi addict, he went and what finally broke the habit. He saw a hypnotist, and the word is they knocked out his addiction in a single session.
Wow.
A hypnotist.
It's impressive.
And it was even an online hypnotist.
Yeah.
It was just like over Zoom or something.
Some people fall for that stuff.
Very susceptible to it.
I think that's a better way to put it. Some folks are really susceptible to that stuff, where most of us, I think it's fair to say most of us, you couldn't hypnotize me if you gave these folks all weekend to do it.
I fell for it, for sure.
So, like Wapple was saying, after this hypnotist got a hold of him and broke him of his Pepsi curse, he drank his first glass of water in 20 years. He hasn't gone back. He's already dropped 40 pounds.
So
good for him.
I always heard that if you do the hypnotism to stop smoking, that if you smell a cigarette afterwards, you kind of get sick. So I wonder if that's kind of the same here.
Good question.
Or if he kind of like smells Pepsi or cola, his stomach just starts churning.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what they do.
Could be. And speaking to my folks, I should ask my old man. Maybe I'll try to call him today. He hasn't made an effort in many years, but a couple of decades ago, maybe more than that, he made a decent push at attempting to stop smoking. And I don't remember if he ever went as far as seeing a hypnotist, but I know he did try. What is that when they stick you with the needles?
Acupuncture?
He did try acupuncture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it didn't do nothing, except when they put the needles in him, smoke poured out. I'll have to ask him. There could be something there. I think maybe his buddies even put him up against a hypnotist. But that's, what a story, this effing guy. If anything, maybe it makes you feel better about the way you're living your life.
Oh, definitely does.
What is this? Big Bug Thug Jesus says coffee's 99% water?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know. Somebody tell me if he's joking. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Certainly water in there.
Well, of course.
I don't know the percentage.
99%.
I guess that makes sense.
Okay, I'll go along with it.
Seems high. I've always heard that coffee dehydrates you. So
yeah, there's
the
something
caffeine, right?
Yeah, the caffeine and all the other stuff.
Speaking of which, I wonder how often this guy peed every day.
I was just thinking that same thing, Josh.
Because when I drank a 2-liter,
yeah,
and then sometimes I'd have one, not a two, like another pop during the day, of some size. I was peeing constantly, unless it was super hot out. Then I just sweat it out. But
so you were peeing more than you currently do?
Well, I don't really pee that often right now.
Well, every time I try to talk to you on the intercom, you're off taking a pee.
Well, I'm filling up water.
Oh,
yeah. So it's a little of both.
I didn't mean to holler at
I
you.
will not be pee-shamed at my age or on this show.
You pee all the time.
I really don't.
I know. I don't know why I'm coming.
Maybe it's probably 2 times between 3:30 and 10, maybe 3 times, depending on how much water I've been drinking.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I got a problem. I never pee.
I've been seeing you pee in there more. I know you do because you go, well, I never do this, but you've been doing it more and more and more.
I almost never during the show. After the show, it's all I do.
See, I'm the opposite.
I do.
The majority of the fluids I drink are this time of the day.
When I get home from work, I'll take a huge whiz, and I'm not even done making my sandwich that I'm going to fall asleep on top of, and I have to pee again.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I don't think I'd call it the worst.
I'm starting to get to the age where I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom to go pee. Yeah.
I do that every night.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, sometimes multiple times.
I don't think I've ever done it unless I've had about a case of beer.
Yeah, luckily I never do that.
I hear that's
when
a
I was a
sign
kid,
of,
I used to just do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I haven't done that in a long time.
You were good at that.
That would drive me nuts if I was awoken.
Yeah.
With the need to. That's a sign of something. I've read things.
Can be like some prostate issues.
What was?
Am I going to die?
Fun.
You might. Well, everyone's going to die. What was funny was like 25 years ago when we were young guys. We're sitting at the bar, and my buddy, the King. The King's getting married on Friday, by the way, and he's suckering a few of us into going and watching it happen. I don't know if you've ever met the King, Josh, but he's getting married again on Friday.
How many is this?
Oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 now. No, I'm kidding. It's his second marriage. But when we were young guys, the King says to us at the bar, he goes, hey, you guys, you know how, 3-4 times a night you got to wake up and take a piss?
3-4 times a night?
That's a lot.
And all the dudes sitting at the table went, no.
My wife does that, but she's given birth a handful of times.
What's wrong with you? What are you doing before you go to bed? Pounding a pitcher of Kool-Aid or something?
That's funny you say that because back in my bedwetting days, which went on far too long, I must say, my parents did have a rule I couldn't drink anything 2 hours before bedtime.
That must have pissed you off. I'm not trying to be cute with that.
No, I was cool with it because I got a little tired of wetting my bed.
I thought you're sitting there watching the A-Team or something. All you want is,
No, remember they wouldn't let me watch the A-Team.
Oh, that's right. You couldn't watch the A-Team. You were sitting there watching I Dream of Jeannie. Or was that too filthy because she wasn't wearing a lot of clothes?
No, they let me watch that one.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Armpit crabs.
Oh, gross.
Has anyone ever had that problem?
No, I can happily say I haven't.
Never had any type of crab.
No one here's had armpit crabs. A tweet claimed that Brigham Young University out there in Utah has had an armpit crabs outbreak. A Twitter user a couple Saturdays ago threw this out into the mix that an armpit crabs epidemic has swept through this school. Isn't that something? And damn, that school has a reputation of being straighter than a Grizzlies D. I mean, hell, Wapple and Josh would be the bad boys of BYU. If you guys went there this weekend and walked on campus, you would be the instant bad boys of that. The school hasn't addressed this rumor, so the internet's going buck wild with this story. Now, first of all, most folks don't even know they didn't even know that armpit crabs was a thing, and neither did I until Cubby showed me this story. But according to the NHS, who is that now?
National Health Service?
I'll go along with it. They say it's possible to have crabs on all areas of the body that have hair except your noggin. Did you guys know that?
No.
That is weird that it wouldn't, that's where, well, not you and me, but people have the most hair usually up there.
I wonder if crabs are used to finer, thinner hair than what we most folks have on their domes.
Or maybe it's because your head hair is like exposed all the time. So maybe that helps.
Maybe they like the warmth of a pit or a crotch.
Dark, dank area.
Yes.
I know Wapple does.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
He got that from me. So I'm wondering if it's because of our modern grooming habits where the crabs have moved north.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are good.
Or
You're good.
Maybe they just retired. Like a lot of Minnesotans, you just move north. Get a cabin up on, somewhere like in Brainerd somewhere.
You move up where nobody's going to find you. Yeah, they've
Head
gone.
up to Ely.
Mhm. Now, some other folks tweeted, like I said, the internet's all over this. Someone tweeted, it reminds me of that Family Guy episode. And what they're referencing is a 2006 episode of that program that joked about students at the local high school, James Woods High, were participating in ear sex.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I have vague memories of that.
I've never heard of armpit sex. Anybody?
No.
No.
Never.
I mean,
I've heard that there's like about like armpit porn.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit different.
What is
There's
that? What is that? Is that just what I imagine it to be?
Well, Ashley, you tell me. I've stumbled upon some weird armpit porn, and there's just a lot of licking.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of licking.
So, was it just a few weeks ago, we were talking about a woman who said her boyfriend kind of creeped her out because he wanted to have sex with every part of her, and he requested behind her knee, where she would kind of tuck her leg back and make a knee-gina for him.
Yeah, right.
And so that's what I was picturing with armpit sex, the same type of thing.
A knee-gina. Maybe if you have armpit sex, you call it a pitterus. I don't know.
If I'm having armpit sex, now I'm trying to picture what a naked woman looks like, and it's been a while. But
Want me to open up my cell phone?
I recognize that tattoo. That's my wife. I'd have to go from behind. I don't think I have the length
Behind
to go from
armpit sex.
Yeah.
What's the difference between behind or in the front?
Picture where my right leg's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Here, let me act it out on you if I could.
Your right leg's probably going to be jammed between her boobs.
Yeah, it's going to be too high up.
You're going to be kneeing her in the sternum.
And I don't have the length to get between the pit.
You have the length.
Let
me just clear this up.
I have to go around the back to hit the pitterus.
You have the length. So the internet is hoping that this bizarre rumor isn't true. Well, hell, I hope it is. This is fun.
Uh-huh.
Many are simply asking, how do you get armpit crabs? Well, I mean, come on, for Christ's sake. If you know how we normally end up with crabs, then you can probably work out how armpit crabs happen. But like I said, it's a Mormon school.
That's a dry school too, right?
Yeah.
They've got all kinds of rules. And I know I've heard this or that about BYU before, but listen to this. BYU students are required to follow the school's honor code, which includes, quote, living a chaste and virtuous life, including abstaining from any sexual relations outside of marriage between a man and a woman's.
So could they kick you off campus if you were caught having sex?
I imagine so.
Probably. Yeah, they got to live by the code, Wapple. The
You're
code.
expelled.
Yeah, they probably would. I don't know that 100%, but they're required to live by this code. There was a Instagram page for a while that was called BYU PDA, and they would post images of students engaged in conduct that was against the code. Kissing, holding hands. Well, they weren't allowed to do that, so the page was gassed because the kids didn't give their consent to be on. But so there was a sneaky Facebook page that would say, oh, look, here's a BYU couple, and they are kissing. And people would go, oh, that's against the code.
Why would you turn someone in for that?
Yeah, this is dumb.
I guess you're getting any, I guess.
That's your life's work. Posting pictures of everyone else at school getting some.
There are a lot of knee humpers in the listening audience. That is a common practice with quite a few people.
I've never humped a knee, and by God, I'll tell you this right now. I'll tell you, I've been doing a lot of humping over the years. I've never humped a knee.
I never even thought about it, really.
Nope, me neither.
Retired Air Force Jesus says his wife shaves her pits, and they go pit to mouth all the time.
Dude.
Don't ever text this program again. That is repulsive. Who said that?
Retired Air Force Jesus.
I'm never talking to that man again. For fear of his breath. Sorry, I blew up. But check this out. There's a sex therapist out there called Kristen Hodson. Okay, back to armpit crabs and armpit sex and all this. This certified sex therapist, and I don't take many of them very seriously. There are plenty of people out there who have sex 7 or 8 times, and then suddenly they're an expert and they want to tell us. So I don't have much time for the sex experts and all that crap. But this lady says that armpit sex was in vogue, popular, for BYU students. She said this a couple years ago. And
maybe it seems more chaste. You're not really giving it up so much.
Yeah, and you're not using the vagina and all that. She said that BYU students were very creative at forming alternate methods for intimate contact.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess that never would have crossed my mind.
I have a couple great crab stories, but one that I never had crabs as far as I know, but I have some buddies who did. But one of my favorite crab stories was a girlfriend of mine that I grew up with all the way through high school. She found out that her boyfriend was cheating on her by discovering crabs running loose all over his body. Wouldn't that be a disturbing thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I remember when she first told me, I said, well, give me some specific, like, how did you, really specifically? Well, she hauled his pants and underwears down for him to, what do they call it, Josh? Oral?
Oh, yep.
And she could see him crawling around.
Oh, it's so gross.
I bet that
they were bungee jumping and whatnot, up and down.
I bet that killed oral for him with her.
Yeah, she said
in the future.
She backed up and said, "What's going on here?" And he said, "I don't even know."
Oh, crazy! I don't know how those got there. Wow.
I went on. Well, no, he admitted it. He said, "I went on a little road trip and I got fresh with a couple of ladies in Ely or something."
The brother and sisterhood are reminding me of soaking. Apparently, that's something that happens on campus there. We've discussed the it's exact act of soaking before. You guys know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to place it.
You introduce the two parties, and you just sit there.
Oh, yep, And wasn't there like a time where someone else would jump on the bed next to you?
Yeah, somebody talked about that. Yeah, so you're not actually you're not actually doing any of the motions. Sure, somebody else is helping you out.
I don't know that I've ever heard of that before.
Oh, we've talked about it.
Yeah,
Really?
we talked about that.
Yeah, so soaking.
Okay, so you
connect
join
the dots.
You join
forces,
genitals.
Yeah,
but you don't move.
Right.
And so there's no finishing. You just hang out there for a while.
There could be some finishing, depending on the amount of.
So what's the point of it?
Well, because then it's an intimate act.
Oh,
but it's a loophole, right?
Okay.
I've effed in a loophole before.
I bet you, yeah. So there's no banging, hopping, pounding back and forth. You just kind of lay there together, joined as one.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's ever really happened, but that's true. Wapple is right. I remember people telling us that somebody else would jump on the bed.
Oh, for Christ's sake. No, that never happened. What are you talking about? Someone jumped on the bed.
Hey, we need a jumper over here.
That was a story that we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
I have no memory of such things.
Yeah, so wait.
You're thinking that I was doing it or my friends were doing it for a second? Oh, okay.
No. I was wondering what the hell you were talking about.
If I was the bed jumper,
word on the street.
If I was the bed jumper and somebody asked me if I've ever had a threesome, I wouldn't know how to answer the question.
I was just gonna say that.
Kind of. I mean,
that'd be the only way where "kind of" is the correct answer to "have you ever had a threesome?" Yeah, if you're jumping on the bed while two people are just locked in some kind of a genital wrestling.
I think so. I mean, I'm the one that was kind of making things happen, but there was really nothing happening.
Just bouncing up and down like a little kid. All right, I have no memory of soaking. I'm going to try that.
Somebody else said that it's also called docking. Now, I've heard docking is different.
Yeah, I've heard
between two gentlemen.
Yeah, I've heard that's different.
Yeah. I'm going to try that soaking.
Yeah, tell me if it's worth it.
If Big Al ain't got any plans this weekend, he can jump on the bed for me.
That's some extra force, too,
Got a text
Big Al's on there.
What are you talking about? Were you trying to make a joke about Big Al's physique?
He's just big.
Because how strong he is.
He is. He's a big guy, Big Al.
Yeah, it's like if I was jumping on the bed compared to Big Al, it'd be like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's
really
a good point.
Here.
If you're jumping up on the bed, there ain't going to be. Big Al gets up there. Yeah, we're going to be bumping, and he's probably going to spill some Coors Light on us.
I could see Wapple taking out a ceiling fan by accident.
Just gets his nostril caught in the ceiling fan and just.
Yeah, it's like when you're on the trampoline and someone double jumps you.
Oh, sure.
Got a text here that says, I don't want to be soaking. I want to be banging.
Oh, man.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.